Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins.
Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles did not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material in use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law.
Yeah. Kings. Yeah. Coming straight out of denial. I'ma tell you about a great big liar. Yeah, but Egyptians was not white. Them college niggas ain't white. Built the pyramid. Look at them lips. Look at them hips. That booty so round. You know that girl be brown.
So you mean that we was like, whoa?
We was kings and shit. Boy, you know that it is true. We was kings and shit. Nigga, what you gonna do? Ramses was black. Tutankhamun was black. Y'all know Cleo was black. Who made it into space? Nigga, that was the black race.
You're welcome.
They're covering it up in the books. Bunch of cracker-ass crooks.
Tell it again.
You can even go out of Egypt, find out who the real chosen people. Mozart, Beethoven, King George, Vikings. They was all black. We was kings and shit, boy, you know that it is true. We was kings and shit, nigga, what you gonna do?
So what you saying is like, but what you all talk about is, do you mean that we was like, what? Her ancestors, blood ran through us, the whole battle of pressing oils. Just remember this one little thing. We was kings and shit, but you know that it is true. We was kings and shit. Nigga, what you gonna do? I don't even know what I'm saying no more, dude. Shit.
Oye, que estamos aquí. Mírame, estamos aquí. Desde hace rato, cuando ustedes llegaron, ya estaban las huellas de nuestros zapatos. Se robaron hasta la comida de gato y todavía se están lamiendo el plato. Bien encabronados con estos ingratos. Hoy le doy duro a los tambores hasta que me acusen de maltrato. Si no entiendes el dato, pues te lo tiro en cumbia, bossa nova, tango o vallenato. A lo calaboy y bambú, bien frontú, con sangre caliente como Timbuktu. Estamos dentro del menú. Tupac se llama Tupac por Tupac Amaru del Perú. América no es solo USA, papá. Esto es desde Tierra del Fuego hasta Canadá. Hay que ser bien bruto, bien hueco. Es como decir que África es solo Marruecos. Estos canallas se les olvidó que el calendario que usan se lo inventaron los mayas con la Valdivia precolombina. Desde hace tiempo, este continente camina, pero ni con toda la marina pueden sacar de la vitrina la peste campesina. Esto va para el capataz de la empresa. El machete no es solo para cortar caña, también es para cortar cabeza.
Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerde. Si quieres mi machete te muerde. Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerde. Si quieres mi machete te muerde. 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 Te muerde, te muerde.
Los paramilitares, las guerrillas, los hijos del conflicto, las pandillas, las listas negras, los falsos positivos, los periodistas asesinados, los desaparecidos, los narcogobiernos, todos los que robaron, los que se manifiestan y los que se olvidaron, las persecuciones, los golpes de estado, el país en quiebra, los exiliados, el peso devaluado, el tráfico de droga, los carteles, las invasiones, los emigrantes sin papeles, 5 presidentes en 11 días, disparo a quemarropa por parte de la policía, más de 100 años de tortura, la nova trova cantando en plena dictadura. Somos la sangre que sopla la presión atmosférica. Gambino, mi hermano, esto sí es América.
Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerde. Si quieres mi machete te muerde. Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerde. Si quieres mi machete te muerde. 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 Te muerde, te muerde.
Viene a decirnos con mucha firmeza y gran convencimiento lo mismo que nos decía en el siglo XVIII el barón de Holbach, un filósofo francés de origen alemán. Si nos remontamos al comienzo, entonces hallaremos que la ignorancia y el temor crearon a los dioses. La fantasía, el entusiasmo, el engaño los adornaron, desfiguraron. La debilidad rinde culto, la credulidad conserva, la costumbre los respeta y la tiranía los apoya para que la ceguera de los hombres sirva a sus propios intereses.
Hold on a second, family. Hold on. I'm trying to see this. What's the problem that I got going on? Okay, here we go. I think we're good. Testing. 1, 2, 3. I think we're good. I see the sound. What's up, Petty Mias? Buenos dias. Good to have you here. I know I should have started an hour ago. I got a little bit tied up. I accidentally burned something. Not bad, like a piece of meat. It was my fault. Well, technically it was. Anyways, good to have you guys here. Buenas noches, buenos dias, buenas tardes for you guys that are listening. Today, we're going to get into something interesting, okay? I am going to identify these white folks, these Europeans, self-proclaimed natives of the Americas now. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to find out what this is like, because fueled and ruled by chaos or cause is a really serious statement. So without further ado, or any waiting period, I'm going to get to the point. Let's get this class going, man. I'm excited. Thank you, brother, for providing these videos here real quick. I think we should inform
in the 1930s.
And the reminder of the shit that goes on. And you also have to understand exactly why this is going on. Because once you identify the people that are doing this shit to you, you know what, man? It starts making a lot of sense. You don't forgive. And you don't forget. Let's go.
Over 1 million people of Mexican descent were deported from the United States, many of them U.S. citizens. During the Great Depression, officials blamed Mexicans for job loss, and mass raids began. People were pulled from homes, schools, and workplaces. No trial, no due process. It wasn't just border towns. Los Angeles, Detroit, Chicago, even Dallas saw mass removals. An estimated 60% of those deported were American-born. That's right. Citizens and entire families were uprooted overnight, loaded onto trains called repatriation trains, and sent to a country some had never even seen. Little-known fact, in 1931, L.A. County deported 12,000 people in just 3 weeks, and there was no federal law requiring it. Local governments and businesses coordinated efforts to remove workers. This chapter is rarely taught in U.S. history classes, but its legacy lives on, in families split, land lost, and generations silenced. For Mexican Americans, forced deportation wasn't just about crossing borders, it was about being told they never belonged, even on land their ancestors had lived on for centuries.
In this channel, I think that if it wasn't for our gente that truly believes in this book a lot of our gente believes in the Bible. And you guys don't realize that book is talking about you specifically. Yes, everybody has been enslaved. Everybody has had, situations similar to what this chapter talks about, but no other nation has gone through this exactly the way you guys have had gone. Yes, you were scattered all over the places, like verse 64 says. Yes, you were taken on ships. Yes, you were being tossed overboard. Yes, they would actually come and take your land. Yes, they would actually take your oil. They would take all your fruits, all your trees, everything you grow. Yep. And they would also be ahead of you, above you, beyond every doubt. Seriously, they're strangers, other people try to claim that these things happen to them. That's why they want to interject into your heritage. And it's funny because it's so isolated. Their thought process is so isolated. Like they forget about Mexico, Central, South America. Like they don't know their history and shit. You know what I'm saying? So this stuff that we're learning is valuable. And it's easy to understand because guess what? A lot of us, I think
Native Americans are not
a lot of us, especially now that a lot of us should know how we were taken away from our own heritage, specifically started by a bishop named Sumarraga. He had all the authority in the world to deny anything printed, provided to anywhere, any other, like in Europe, like talk nothing about these people, what relation they may have or know of God, basically. And then while they're here, they try to implement in this system of like colorism. Remember that old picture that Spaniards supposedly did about us, that if you mix with Castellano, you're Indio with whatever, then you're this and that. That's total fucking bullshit, man. Those are mind games, family. Mind fucking games. Where else did you see that? Did you guys notice that there was no ever book talked about like that in that way? Like, it's not thoroughly. You know what I'm saying? So don't believe the hype. Hey, what up, brother? Good to have you here, man. Every time I be trying to think, okay, I think about, I'm gonna send you a message and shit, and then something comes out, dude, and I totally freaking forget, man. So dispensa, homie. Like, sincerely, bro, forgive me, because I know you send me always messages and shit. I do respond, you know, but I'm not initiating them. And I remember saying to myself, I need to stop doing that. I'm about to do something like, oh, you know what? Let me respond to this. Hold on a second, and then I forget. Fucking shit. So my bad, bro. Dispensa, sorry, seriously. Good to have you here. All right, so let's continue, man. Listen, this is a good point. Again, it's debunking the bullshit and also reminding us who our people are. Because remember, in 1980, 70, 60, 40, 30, 20, you did not want to be Mexican. In the 90s, you know, I guess the shit was kind of changing, I guess, you know what I'm saying? But in those 80s, before, you did not want to be Mexican. That's why a lot of people claim the Chicano shit. There's a positive and a negative to that purpose too. You know what I mean? It's historic. I showed you guys a map about how it says Chicana and then Tijuana, like in 1530 something and shit. You know what I mean? But there's also, no, not 30, 1580 something. But that there's also this negative connotation towards the word Mexican. I mean, those are facts. So let's get back into the root of who you are. Because it's not about how you look with our people, because we know what we look like, but it's about what this cultura brings to you. What this cultura that you see here brings to you. When you sit down, have dinner, lunch, or whatever, when you call your mom, hey mom, ¿cómo estás? You know, when you have those relationships with your family, or when you can understand exactly what you're talking about with somebody's like stranger. I don't know Estudiante, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know him. Like, not like I grew up with him. But the brother and I've been, you know, chopping it up for like 3 years, man, on the, you know, some apps and shit and texting, bro. And guess what? We talked to, and I've dealt with a lot of different nations, especially with the work that I do. And there is nothing like dealing with our gente. Straight up, bro. Ain't nothing like it. It ain't nothing like it. So let me stop talking and let's continue.
Asians. We are indigenous to all of the Americas. North, Central, South, the Caribbean, and even Greenland.
And I know these are AIs. You see, I know that. But it is so important. Like, for example, we have 5 senses, family. We can see, we can talk, we can taste. Let's see what else. We can hear. Right? We can see, we can taste, we can touch, we can hear. And there's one more. Shit, man. Can't believe it. Anyways, you get my drift. We have to exercise all of those senses in order to really absorb what you're learning or studying. Now, when I say to you that in September 7th of 1900, it was printed by the Lutheran newsletter that, and this is just on the Bible sense. The Bible was not allowed to be printed in Mexico at that time. This is in 1900. Today we are in 2025. In reality, you see a lot of literacy after 1930. So how many years do you think our gente really have of even having the privilege to learn? I'm talking about the majority. So I appreciate this here. For me, I like this because I remember going to my pueblos with my mom in Guadalajara, or outside of Guadalajara, and I see my cousins, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, this is a reminder, my people.
We are not recent arrivals.
We have been here since the immemorial dawn of time. Since before borders, before names, before maps.
Native Americans are one of the most geographically widespread human lineages on the planet.
You will find us in the deserts of Sonora and Atacama.
You will find us in the Arctic tundras of Alaska and Nunavut. You will find us in the rainforests of the Amazon,
Pine forests of the Rockies, the valleys of Oaxaca, the plains of Argentina, and the islands.
You want to know why you need this? You want to know why? Because these are the faces that we deal with most of the time, bro. Like, let's just be fucking real. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real, bro. I've been in this industry or what I do for a while, and you know, you can just tell the way certain people are, bro. Like, there are certain things that you have access to and certain things that you don't. And then when you look at the, like, say for example, the companies that I have to deal with contracts, so to speak, right? You know, we contract together, and I look at their executive people, you know, their whole team, about them. The majority are fucking Gringolandia and shit. You get what I'm saying? So I understand the concept, which is why it's important. Look at this face here. There was a time for almost 50, 70 years where we were told to hate this face, to run from it, to mix with or assimilate to, so then you can look better. Do you understand what that word better means? That's not what I mean. That's what they mean. Now remember, I'm telling you, there's a reason why I named this class what it is. Fueled and ruled by chaos or cause. You're going to see.
Of the Caribbean.
our diversity of environments is matched by the resilience of our DNA.
Native Americans share ancient genetic markers such as mtDNA haplogroups A, B, C, D, and X.
And Y DNA haplogroups Q and C passed down unbroken for tens of thousands of years.
Markers are rooted in Ice Age populations who migrated across vast distances and adapted to wildly different terrains.
They formed nations. They prayed, they fought, they dreamed, they died, and they were born again in us.
But they didn't just...
So check this out. Let me show you this real quick. Why is this important? Because I found this, man. This was kind of heavy on me. Check this out, family. I did not know this. Me personally, I did not know this. Let's go.
And the Emancipation Proclamation, the same day he signed this country's largest mass execution of 38 Dakota men for supposedly stealing a cow that wandered onto their given reservation boundaries. And then the Dakota said, "Oh, we're sorry, we didn't know, it didn't have a brand, and we thought it was on our own. We were hungry, we were starving at the time." Mm-hmm. So the Native people gathered about 40 other skinny cattle as well, mm-hmm. and gave it to the one farmer. That one farmer wanted justice. He says, "I want the man, I don't want the cows." Mm-hmm. So all of them said, "I am guilty." So the army came down, and that's when that sort of war came along. And in the end, over 500 were indicted. So Lincoln signed, well, let's only hang 38 of them. They all hung at the same time in Mankato, Minnesota. So these are, the ideas that people are holding up as, well, forget about what we did to the Indians or the Native people. Mm-hmm. Let's hold what this freedom and caring for loving our fellow men is based upon. Mm-hmm. But let's not talk about the tree roots people. Let's talk about what we can change as far as grassroots movements is concerned. We're not concerned about having a graveyard still under the U.S. Capitol building with the Lenape bones, the graveyard still on that hill of where the U.S. Capitol building. Let's not talk about that.
Mm-hmm. Hear that shit? That's pretty crazy, man. I did not know this story here. And there was a dude that came over here the other day. Disappointed he left. Yes, he did indeed. Hold on a second, family. I actually, I do want to share this. I feel bad for the sis, but you know what? That's reality. You served in the military, and that's what gente expect? Like, wicked. There you go, wicked, bro. Like, what did our gente expect? Look.
Thank you for your service.
And and I appreciate this is that she does this message stuff. So I'm not trying to diss her. But it's true, like I can see that. Because Raza is like that, bro. We're fucking loyal. And we're loyal to our own fault. Sometimes you just gotta let the fuck go, man. Shit. Pinche gente, güey. Unas veces somos muy leales, cabrones. And I know that. And that's why it fucking hurts. Let's go.
Service. It doesn't mean the same thing to me anymore. When I would hear, thank you for your service, to me that meant that you acknowledged the fact that I was willing to sacrifice everything, including my life, to protect the Constitution of the United States and the rights of the American people. This is what I hear when I hear thank you for your service now. Thank you for protecting my rights while I strip away yours. Thank you for willing to sacrifice your life and your rights for this country. All while you look me in the eyes, shake my hand while simultaneously stabbing me in the back. And you do this all as you turn around and walk away, giving every female veteran and active duty military member a big old fuck you. So from here on out, you can take your thank you for your service and have the motherfucking day you deserve with it. Thank you for your...
Well, I'm telling you, man. What did you guys expect, though? I mean, let's be honest. Here we have a very clear notice of, like, for example, when Trompetas wants to go say shit like, we've been getting abused and taken advantage of, and you know what I'm saying? That should not be happening to us, blah, blah, blah. Getting taken advantage of through your own currency, through your own rules, through your own government, through your own system. SWIFT, a couple of bank international accounts actually they're in the in-between of transactions of currency. So when you sanction people, you basically tell those same companies, hey, by the way, you know, I need you to stop their fucking money. What are you talking about? So when I see you, Edom, claiming that they're abusing you, I'm like, bro, they're under your system. What are you talking about? Gente, I've been saying this for a while, and I mean, that's why I tell you, man, I don't get involved in politics and shit, and you know what I mean? I know I sound like I do, I don't. I just like to look at everything and show you how you are in this book. And quite frankly, I think it's time for you to wake up. The democracy, whatever you fucking thought que era bien democracia, güey, ya estuvo, cabrones. Ya estuvo, güey. That's it. You're done. Like, if you think you're still in a country that you still have fucking equal rights, bro, you're tripping, dude. You see the shit that's going on out in the streets. Do you understand now that if they pull you over, I mean, if you get pulled over by one of those Billy Bully motherfuckers, like, you know, they'll arrest your ass if you look like the connotation of an illegal alien. So if you look like a quote unquote illegal alien and you understand the word connotation, that means that you understand that when I say that, visually, you see, you know what I mean. Like, for example, if I say illegal vans, are you going to think of a VAN, like the word, or are you going to think of the actual vehicle, van, right? So the connotation to illegal alien is already applicable to you, raza. So when people hear that shit, they ain't thinking of no one else but you, just to tell you the facts. You need to understand who is ruling and why. And how come. Hold on a second. Oh, shit. I put it on mute.
People. If you think of the UN as it's portrayed in education, as it's portrayed in the media, you imagine like, oh, the world is coming together and we're singing Kumbaya. But that's not the reality. If you look, there are key people who make the decisions, and they're not always in the news. Oftentimes they're behind the scenes. Here in the United States, we have a number of secret societies that are very, very influential when it comes to this architecture of international governance. The Skull and Bones Society at Yale University, kind of a secret club where you find people like John Kerry, George Bush, etc. Then you have the Bohemian Grove out in Northern California, very, very bizarre secret organization bringing together really hundreds of the most powerful men in the world, presidents, prime ministers, cabinet ministers, CEOs of the big corporations. And all throughout the history of the United Nations, these groups have been really a critical component of the decision-making, the agenda setting, And it comes down to the individual level as well. When you want to look at who are the individuals that are guiding these processes, the Rockefeller name, for example, comes up over and over again, from donating the land that the United Nations was on, to donating money to various UN agencies, to kind of helping to chart the agenda. What should the UN be focusing on? The Rockefellers and their allies keep coming up over and over and over again. When we talk about the UN, we really need to recognize that there's the doublespeak, there's the propaganda, that it's just the nations of the world coming together to solve problems. And then there's the reality. It's a front group for a group of very dangerous, very totalitarian-minded and ambitious individuals who, if left to their own devices, would rule over humanity with an iron fist.
I've been saying for a while now that you guys are collateral damage. Your nation, you guys, your nation, you individuals that have been protecting 1776, oh shit. It was created by these people, by Freemasons, by people of power, by people that study the Kabbalah, that worship certain gods that are not the same ones that you think they worship. I've showed this video before, and I know we focused on what he was comparing, but look at this. Remember this part? This guy. Remember this guy? Check this out.
Criminal, sionista, lo digo abiertamente.
See? That guy right there. You see that right there? Okay, so he gave him 150 million something for his campaign. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what it was. Okay? You guys, you can find that shit out.
Él apoyó a Trump y es íntimo de Netanyahu.
See, he supported Trump, and he's very intimate with this guy. So, what do you think this guy is saying? Why do you think El Trompetas is squeezing every single thing he can about this so-called Constitution? Do you think he's really for it? I mean, they've pledged to a certain people. They claim to, be trying to destroy Edom. So then, now that we're talking about like that concept, well, let's look at some concepts here. Let's look at a concept of the mindset first of Edom. I want to know what you're thinking, Edom, because I think, me personally, my opinion, you're dysfunctional. And I wondered, what was it that you wanted out of all this shit here? A lot of you are, I don't want to say a lot. A space does not agree with what goes on, but you want to know something, family? A lot of people agree with what's going on. I'm talking about 60, 70 plus million people agree with what's going on. Like the same amount of people that they want to deport, so-called, that are Hispanic, the same amount of people are the ones that hate that much. So if there's like 70 million haters like that, then you're talking about 70 million so-called indigenous they want to get rid of, or anybody that looks like you. And you want to know why? It's not to fix it. It's absolutely not to fix it. Watch this. It's something deeper, something beyond that you and I hope, cannot reach. I cannot hate people this much. Me personally, I can't. This is fucking nuts.
I've been dying to dig into this. I've been asking myself for years why Trump's followers can't see reality. So I did my research, and I'm going to share it with you. Let's talk about the psychology behind the Trump cult, because that's what it is. It's not a normal political movement anymore. It's a cult of personality. And if we want to fight it, we have to understand it. So let's break it down. First, Trump doesn't offer policies. He offers identity. He's not popular because of what he does, but because of what he represents. To many of his followers, he's the walking, talking middle finger to a system they believe has failed them. They see him as their guy, not because he's honest, not because he helps them, but because he talks like them, rages like them, and punches the people they've been told to blame for everything. In psychology, there's a term for this: identity fusion. It's when your personal identity becomes fused with your group or leader. That's why criticism of Trump feels like a personal attack to his supporters. It's not just he's being criticized, it's I'm being criticized. Second, he offers revenge, not solutions. He doesn't promise to fix healthcare or raise wages or protect your rights. He promises to go after them. Whether it's immigrants, the press, black activists, LGBTQ people, liberals, college students, elites, anyone outside the tribe. That's classic authoritarianism. Give people a sense of law. Tell them who stole it, then promise to make them pay. And to some people, that rage, that promise of vengeance is more emotionally satisfying than actual policy. It doesn't fix their problems, but it feels like power. Third, people crave order, and Trump promises strength. When institutions fail, when you don't trust the media, the courts, elections, schools, you start to look for a savior, someone who says, only I can fix it. That's why Trump acts like a strong man. He creates the crisis, then sells himself as the only one tough enough to stop it. He's done that over and over and over again. He's not leading a movement. He's leading a dependency. Fourth, his followers are trapped. I've been dying to dig into this. I've been asking.
Now, that's a very important topic, because you see this guy here?
I gotta get that thing out. A massive bombshell to the holy grail of Democrats.
I just want to show you his face. This guy is Benny Johnson. I think he's a, fucking masputo in disguise. Like, he tries to play like this fucking right-wing dude. Like, they try to play strong, bro. You know what I'm saying? They do like the Sakari shit. They try to make strong and shit, and then in secret they go be pegging. So he is a what you call a straight right-winger racist motherfucker. And this is what they're supporting right here. Okay? So let me show you this, and then we're going to move on, because we just heard a good explanation of the mindset of Edom.
To try to maintain their advantage in the House elections. On top of that, let's not forget, Democrats rigged the 2020.
Nah, that's not the part. My bad, family. I'm not going to show you that whole Democratic shit or political Republican shit. I don't care. So check this out. Let me get to the point. Let's get to it, man. Now that we have an idea, concept. So look, why did I ask or say or mention fueled and ruled by chaos? Or cause? Let's dig into this thing. If you guys ever heard of this word Valhalla, I showed this on some other class before, but I didn't really dig into it like thoroughly. So we're going to do it right now. We're going to determine who Edom is. We're going to see who these guys are. Valhalla, it says. Old North, the Hall of the Fallen, is the hall where the god Odin, that name right there is interesting, houses the dead whom he deems worthy of dwelling with him. According to the Old North poem, right, it says the songs of the hooded one, the roof of the gold bright Valhalla is made of shield and has spears for its rafters. Now, this name, so you can understand where I'm going with this, is referencing Odin. Okay? And we've heard, in case you guys haven't noticed, there's a lot of movies where this is mentioned. In the gates of Valhalla or Valhalla. If you pay attention, especially to those old ass fucking, medieval movies, you'll see this. Matter of fact, the 13th Warrior, it mentions this at this moment. Mentions it at the movie. So check this, okay? Let me see if I don't miss anything here. Okay. All right. So now that we get an idea of Valhalla and then Odin. Now, Odin, supposedly, right? In Old English or however. An Old Saxon, wooden Saxon. Now remember, who are those people that claim to be Anglo-Saxons, right? So white folks, Benny Fuckface Johnson, you guys claim to be Anglo-Saxons, which is two tribes, by the way, in case you don't know this, but this is one of them. And it seems like Old Saxon Wooden, an Old High German. Oh shit. Wotan, Wotan or Wudan. Okay, we're talking about a Germanic word. Is one of the most complex and enigmatic characters in Norse mythology, meaning, Europe, and perhaps in all of world literature. So here he goes into the little more like so-called Asgard and cosmos, something more of their story. But let's kind of hear a little bit about Odin real quick before we move on. As mentioned above, Odin's name can be translated as master of ecstasy. Odin is formed in two parts. First, O and ecstasy, fury, whatever, all that shit, whatever. Right, that's good. But the word is Odin, as the furious, whatever, however that is, maybe that's in their language or Greek, can take countless different forms as one saga describes Odin. Again, I want this word to stick to you. And I need you to understand exactly what it relates to as well. So in modern popular culture, Odin is often portrayed as being an eminently honorable ruler and battlefield commander, right? Let me skip. In contrast to more straightforward noble war gods such as Tyr or Thor. We see the name, Odin. So now who is this character, Odin? So you guys can dig into this, you know what I'm saying, on some independent material. But this is what I found about this, and this is interesting to me. It says here, from the HebrewNations.com, I'm sure this is a Kabbalist, but we're going to listen to one of parts of his video later on. Check this out. Look what he says, okay? Edomites moved to the west together with 10 tribes. This is what they believe. This is the guy that claims that the 10 tribes are in Europe. But he claims that they're around Edomites. So let's take him for his words. And I want to show you these important things, why all of this matters right now. The Edomites worship Isus. Oh, shit. Put a J in front of that, bro. Jesus. That's why they created their Jesus. Okay? Which is another form of the name Esau. Oh, shit. The Celtic pagan god was also worshipped in Germany. And remember, I've showed you guys a book from Judaism, and it has this name, but with an H, Jesus. He became known as Odin. Oh, my dear Jesus. What? Hold on a second. So Isus, Esau, and Celtic pagan god was worshipped in Germany. He became known as Odin. Let's remind ourselves who the fuck Odin is. He's an Old Saxon, Anglo-Saxon. If we go back a little bit more, Valhalla has to do with you, because I don't understand that you appreciate that shit. Europeans, y'all love that shit. You love your history. I ain't got time for you, bro. You were here last time and shit, and you couldn't even get on the link. You're here to defend, and you're not even like Ethiopian yourself, dude, which is even funnier and shit. I ain't got time for your ass. I'm gonna continue with this point because this point is important, more important than your dumb ass, that's for sure. It says here, he became known as Odin. The name Odin, a form of the name Edom. So we see Valhalla known as Odin. Now we also see that Isus and is basically Esau. Now we're going to look into this, in a little bit. The name Odin, a form of the name Edom. German nationalists identify with Odin. And it's very true. A lot of you white folks, Europeans, in your history with your little fucking long ass beards and shit, you guys fucking love Odin. You love Christmas. That's technically a lot of Odin shit. Halloween is also related to a lot of their Odinish practices. It says, so did Hitler. Oh, my dear Jesus. Did he really? Of course he did. Odin means Edom. They identify with Edom. It says here, Esau became known as Isus, which is important to understand. Esau was the twin brother of Jacob, yada, 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 yeah, I know that stuff. But let's pay attention to this here. Descendants of Edom were found to be in different regions of the Middle East. From these areas, there were movements to the north and to the west. Peoples who first appeared in the Middle East ended up in Europe, including Germany. Before the Romans came, we find the name Esau reconstructed as Isus in Gaul or Galatia. The Esuvians or Normandy were named Isus. Isus also was recorded in southern Gaul and worshipped at Paris and at Treves, an example for it. So he says. Trier, a city in Germany on the banks of Moselle. Hold on, let me see. That's not important. Okay, here we go. A coin with the name of Isus has been found in England. Personal names like Isugenus, son of Isus. So here, it's constantly telling y'all, bro, you German people, y'all are Esau. Y'all guys are Edomites. You guys are fucking Edomites. You can't. Look, listen, I'm not saying you're Edomites because of the way you look. I'm telling you because of where the fuck you're from and how the fuck you have your history here, and it's right here in our face. I'm not even done. Dude, I'm only like 10, 15% into what I have. And I can already tell this is who you guys are. No wonder. Now, if you believe in the Bible, then you would actually listen, but it's only pertaining to when? Christians always want to claim that that Bible belonged to them, but can they prove who they are according to the Bible? Because if they can, then I just did for them. Don't even waste your time, Benny Johnson or Matt Walsh. Bro, for real, I just did it for you. There's nothing wrong with being white as long as you understand that you are Edomite. These were the Siubi and company who first appeared in what is now Poland and East Germany. Poland, holy fucking shit. You mean all those quote Ashkenazis? Converts, so-called self-proclaimed Jews, and whose appearance should be dated after the 200 BC. So Serbia, also known as Serbia or maybe Swab, whatever, or Slavic, was also derived what may also derive their name from Esau, which is pronounced as Esav in modern Hebrew. He says, at present we are dealing with West Germany and the areas of France, Belgium, when these regions were dominated by the people of non-Germanic and Celtic culture. So we understand here that somehow, some way, Isus is up in the northern parts. Now, look, check this out. The worship of Isus preceded that of Odin. Later, the adherent of Odin, like those of Isus, hang their victims. Oh, look, like those of Isus, hang their victims from trees. So I do believe that we are not getting the whole truth of what the book is saying. I believe that. I think these bastards have infiltrated their stories as well. And that's why you get a mixture of some of this shit. Odin in mythology had hanged himself on a tree to gain wisdom, so they changed. Now, Odin, he keeps talking about that. He sacrificed himself to himself. So this is that wicked ass, idolatry that they follow. The name Odin derives from Edom. The name Edom was rendered as Odin. The very name Odin may derive from a word root connoting brown or red, as in the English word dun. This name is also found in Wotan among the Anglo. You hear this? Anglo-Saxons. Benny Johnson, you're an Edomite. Matt Walsh, you are an Edomite. You know what I say to you?
¡Viva México, cabrones!
Because I am not an Edomite. I'm from the tribe of Jacob, motherfuckers.
¡Viva México, cabrones!
The German Odin was different and not necessarily the same as Odin of Scandinavia and England. Oh, shit. So we're talking about all you white folks. All you white folks that are basically of this bloodline. You know, Visigoths, all that shit, Anglo. Anglo is one tribe. Saxon is another, by the way, just in case you don't know. Odin in Germany was known as the Wild Hunter. Huh. Interesting, isn't it? Esau also had been a hunter. Genesis 25:27. The name of Odin was Cause. Hold on a second. The name of Odin was what? Cause. What is the name of this? Fueled and ruled by what? Cause. Chaos. Odin is the word of cause. The national god of the hold on, let me slow down. The national god of the Idumeans of Edom. Oh shit. We know that Alexander the Great was he was the one that produced that Idumean bloodline. What are you talking about? And I'm not saying they were all his kids, but when he conquered, he spread all that nation all around. What are you talking about, bro? Like, what are we saying here? And who says that the Roman Greek mythology, Roman Greek government, who is practicing that to this very day? You can't deny who the fuck you guys are. You want to use the Bible to your benefit, but you can't deny the fact that you're an Edomite. And you are envious. And that's why you're trying to continue to rule in power. The envy of you. I don't hate to tell you, it ain't going to happen, Danny Johnson. As a matter of fact, I want you to do it personally. You do it. You put your hands to the plow. See how, Matt Walsh, you put your hands to the plow. I want to see y'all tough guys do that shit. The national god of the Idumeans of Edom, southeast of Judah, was also known as Kaz or Cause. This may be a dialectic version of Esau. We thus find both Esau and Odin being named Cause. Odin being a hunter like Esau. Odin being derived from Isus. And the name of Odin meaning Edom. Isus coming from fucking Esau, bro. Now, what am I going to do right now? I'm going to show you something real quick so you can understand what this is. See, I don't just go by any random link. You know, I do find a book. So here we're going to look at a book called, give me a second. It says let me name it. Para que vean pinches gringolandios, motherfuckers. The Saxons in England, a history of the English Commonwealth till the period of the Norman conquest. In 1876, I don't believe they were fucking biased about your history. I don't believe they were. So let's find out some little things right here. Let's go back to this. We're going to go to page 160. We were at page 370. Yeah, let me read you this, and then we'll see how we can clear this up. It says here on page 370, Gad in hold on a second. Gad in Old North or Gauter in Old German, cause. A cursory allusion has already been made to Gad, probably only another form of Woden. Since in the mythology of the North, Odin, double N, is Gautar, or however you say it, like up here. This is the Saxons in New England, by the way. I'm not making this shit up, Gringolandia. You are Edom. Not because how you look, fuckers. It's because of who you are. Because of your history. You see, the thing about people is you boast so much, you make it easy to find you. All you got to do is just do the research. And I look at the worshiping of your damn demons, claiming to be people of the book. Get your ass fucking stinking out of here. Make sure you learn how to wipe it, first of all. As I hear, that's a very big problem among your men. It says here, since in the mythology of the North, Odin is Gautr, I guess, but certainly the eponyms, I guess, of the Gautas, that tribe whom Beowulf was a champion and afterwards the king. So here we see Wodan, which we read before, was connected to Odin. And this name, connected to Wodan, is considered cause. Now, I could read more pages behind, but I would lose you because you have to read like about a good 15 pages to understand what this point is. I just needed to point out the fact that, hey, they wrote it themselves. They understand who the fuck they're worshiping, bro. I'm not stupid. Look, I'll give you an example. Look, right there. Here, I'm going to just do it. Wodan. Oh, look, I even have it up here. Odin. What is that? This is like a like an old saying for them and shit. And you see the name. It says here, the page 345. One of the names of Odin is the Old North mythology Osk, which by an etymological law is equivalent to the German Wunsch, the Anglo-Saxon Visk, and the English wish. You see this? So who we talking about here? MAGA. This is MAGA right here, family. This is MAGA right here. I don't have to lie. All I got to do is prove it. Check this out. I just now want to show you something. Where is it at? Give me a second. I thought I put it up here. Hold on. I thought I put it up here. What the hell? Okay, here it goes right here. Okay, check this out. I was tripping on the fact that I was watching a movie called The Gods of Egypt yesterday. And then my wife said, hey, look what they said. Lords of Chaos. The Lord of Chaos. Cause. Chaos. Because it really, that's what it means. There's a lot of translation. I'm going to keep showing you this shit. And because Ra was a solo deity. Now remember, keep in mind that these Freemasons, which mostly are these Europeans, these Edomites, they believe in the Egyptian concept. Don't think this is too far-fetched. The Lord Chaos, cause. Take away the A, cause. Serpent, snake. What does the Bible talk about? The evil dragon? Hello? I mean, shit. Check this out.
In every good mythological story, there is always a villain, an entity that threatens chaos and destruction, the inevitable end of everything we know. When we take a look at Egyptian mythology, that evil takes the form of Apophis, or Apep, the god of chaos, darkness, and destruction. He was known by several names, including Apep, Apepai, and the Greek translation of Apophis. In some of the earlier stories, Apophis was once the god of the sun. He was later pushed aside by Ra, the god that we've all come to associate with the sun today. Having been somewhat dethroned by Ra, Apophis harbored a great deal of resentment towards the god, and he vowed to make it as difficult as possible for Ra to succeed in his task of bringing the dawn every day. In some depictions, Apophis was born from darkness and chaos, making him the mortal enemy of light and fueling his desire to overthrow the balance of all things. Apophis takes the form of an enormous serpent over 50 feet long, which is
right there, the shape of a dragon. What does the scripture say about the dragon in the end? Let's continue.
Why he earned the nicknames Evil Lizard and Serpent from the Nile. The word apep is derived from the Egyptian word meaning slither, and could also be used as a term for being spat out, which would refer to the way Apophis was shunned and removed from his position as god of the sun. There are even some depictions of Apophis being described as a crocodile that swims in the...
Okay, so check this out. I just wanted to show that part. Now I need you to pay attention to this right here. This right here. Cause represented by the eagle. It says, the symbol of the deity Cause, worshipped by the Edomites, is often associated with an eagle. Especially, or specifically, the eagle is depicted on the top of Atargates' head in a Nabatean carving, believed to be a symbol of Cause. It's talking about this right here. And if you look at the eagle, this is a depiction of Cause. Esau, your forefather, Benny Johnson, your forefather, Matt Walsh, this is your daddy. Come say hi to your daddy. Hello, daddy. I miss you, daddy. Cause, Edomite. Northeast, we can read that later. Later, Cause, Hebrew, was the Idumean structural parallel to Yahweh. Holy shit. Now, we know what this is, so, let's just understand exactly what this is going. This is not the name. This is a wicked-ass demon. But, this is not what I mean, though. I'm not saying he's a demon. I'm not saying our creator's a demon. I'm saying that this name here is a demon name. The name occurs only twice in the Old Testament. Barkos. That's a name. Barkos. Ezra and Nehemiah. If a possible allusion is an otherwise corrupted text in the book of Proverbs is excluded. Here goes right here. Nehemiah, right? Barkos. But in the Bible, in the King James, it's actually a K. Just let y'all know. You see, the word cause, it's never used that way, but people understood what the hell that meant. The worship of Cause appears to originally have been located in Hisma, area of southern Jordan. Right? He entered the Edomite pantheon as early as the 8th century. Now, keep in mind what we've been reading. Odin, Esau, Anglo-Saxons, Odins. Matter of fact, I forgot to even show you. Woden. Look. It's right here. Woden in the Gentile form of a horse, yada, yada, yada. I'm not going to read their bullshit stories. It's none of my business. Does Woden, there we go, Woden, Woody. Hey, look, check it. It is also very probable that the early genealogies of the various Anglo-Saxons kings were arranged in a series of 8 names, including always the great name of Woden. Don't forget a point. Don't forget the point. Eagle. Esau. This is who you guys are. This is your history. You just have to admit it now. There ain't no way to run from it. Everybody knew about it. Odin, as a German soul. Carl Jung, which is a famous, what was he again? Psychologist, often referred to as C.G. Jung, was a Swiss psychiatrist and psychotherapist who founded analytical psychology. Well, I guess he was these and not that. Well, he was basically that, but then that became that. His work has been influential not only in psychiatry, but also in philosophy, anthropology, archaeology, literature, and religious studies. So here, this guy is even mentioning the word Edom. In other words, Jung identified the Germans with Edom. Come on, bro. Now you see the hate? Now you see the hate? Now you understand why white people hate so much, bro. Edom, Esau. That's why the Bible says, listen, I'm going to fucking destroy your piece of shits. You guys suck, man. You guys are horrible people. Like it says here, Romans 9:13, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Who is Esau? I'm not saying it. The Bible's saying it. And they're saying it. Who is Esau? Germans, Scandinavians, all those Europeans. Who is Esau? Edom. Edom, Germans, Esau, Odin, Valhalla, Woden. All of that shit is you. There's no denying it now. The name of Odin, Wodan, you see what I'm saying? I'm not joking. Is another form of the name Edom. Holy shit. I'm not done. Cause. Where's the eagle at? Don't get this twisted, by the way. Oh, those are good references. You should dig into that. Look up that word, cause. You'll see something very interesting. Now, look at the eagle. Is used in heraldry as a charge, as supporter, as a crest. Heraldic eagles can be found throughout the world history, like the Achaemenid Empire, or the present Republic of Indonesia. And look at these eagles. We've seen this now. Identified as the eagle, identified as the dragon, identified as Odin, identified as Woden, identified as chaos or cause, identified as Anglo-Saxons, identified as Europeans, Germans. These are the people that the Bible speaks of, the Edomites. And I'm not saying it based on fucking color. I'm saying it based on history. Carl Jung in an essay called Wutan. The Hitler movement literally brought the whole world of Germany to its feet, from 5 years old to veterans, and produced the spectacle of a nation migrating from one place to another. Wutan, the wanderer, was on the move. Who is this Wutan, he says? He is the god of storm and frenzy, the unleasher of passion and of lust and battle. Moreover, he is a superlative magician and artist in illusion who is versed in all secrets of an occult nation. Holy shit.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Bhutan disappeared when his oak fell and appeared again when the Christian God proved too weak. See this? Bhutan disappeared when his oaks fell and appeared again when the Christian God proved too weak to save Christendom from the fanatical slaughter. I venture the heretical suggestion that the unfathomable death of Bhutan's character explained more of National Socialism than all economic, political, and psychological factors put together. The gods are without doubt personification of the psychic forces. And when one of these possessed by such a god, there is not much one can do about it. And in the case of Wutan, we're talking about a fundamental attribute of the German psyche. Understand what this means? They're claiming a spiritual change of their from their ancestors. Wutan is a relentless wanderer who creates unrest and stirs up strife. Now here, now there, and works with magic. You see this? Wutan, Edom, Edomites, just like Jasher said. Oh, check this out. Jasher 28, I believe. Is it here? Yes, Jasher 28:20. And Esau was a designing and deceitful man, one who hunted after the hearts of men and inveigled them. And Esau was a valiant man in the field. You see that? One that hunted after the hearts, meaning the minds of men, and like basically manipulated them. See this shit? Manipulated them. Wutan or Edom, or Edomites, or Europeans, is a restless wanderer who creates unrest, Benny Johnson, Matt Walsh, and stirs up strife, now here, now there, and works magic. That's very true. What God are you worshiping? Who is this white Jesus in your Bible? Because you don't even know what the hell he's talking about. Not even in your movies can you actually approve and manifest what he's doing. Even those fake movies, you guys don't even come close. So let me understand which God, your Jesus, are you talking about? He was soon changed by Christianity into the devil. You hear this? So let me just shut up and read the whole thing. Wutan is a restless wanderer who creates unrest and stirs up strife, now here and now there, and works magic. He was soon changed by Christianity into the devil, and only lived on in fading local tradition as a ghostly hunter who was seen with his routine, flickering like a will of the wisp through the stormy night. In the Middle Ages, the role of the restless wanderer was taken over by Ahasuerus, the wandering Jew. Oh, shit. Khazar, Edom, Poland, German, Christian Zionists. This is what we're seeing here, which is not a Jewish, but a Christian legend. The motive of the wanderer who has not accepted Christ was projected on the Jews, in the same way as we always rediscover our unconscious psychic contents in other people. At any rate, the coincidence of anti-Semitism with the remaking of Wutan, you see this, the coincidence of anti-Semitism with the remaking of Wutan is a psychological subtlety that may perhaps be worth mentioning. He is the god of the storm and frenzy, the unleasher of passion and lust of battle. Moreover, he is superlative magician, artist in illusion, who is versed in all secrets of the occult nation. Fuck. Damn, bro. Check this out.
By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power. But they lie. They do not fulfill their promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight.
Did you guys even know that shit? Hunted after the minds of men. This is a very interesting fucking type of people. You dig deeper and you find out exactly what they're about. So that we see the antiquity of this goddess or god, so-called Esau. This is Esau, right here. Edom, Europeans. We're going to keep proving it. Let me see if I can show you this real quick. If not, we can skip it. Matter of fact, let me show you this one, this page. I think this is more to the liking. Check this out. Hebrew Nation once again. This is the dude that wrote that book claiming that the tribes were over there in Europe. But we're going to use this information because I think it's very interesting. I'm glad you're connecting the dots for us, my friend, because you're basically proving who you are. Esau became known as Edom. We find the name Esau as Isus in Gaul. The Isuvians of Normandy were named after them. The Isus recorded the southern Gaul, but not through his consort Ras Merta, Rosa. See that? Ras, red. We may trace him with West Germany. The name Ras Merta in Latin may connotate Edom, red, the marvelous. It is worth noting that Gallic culture extended from Gaul into Western and Southern Germany. The early Germans, in modern sense, derived largely from the Suebians, whose name may also derive from Esau. The sacrificial victims of Isus were hung from trees and scourged. The adherents of Odin did the same. Odin did hang himself on a tree to the wisdom. Now, we read a little bit of this. This is a little bit of another page. It says here, the German Odin was different. Odin was known as a wild hunter. Esau had been the hunter as well. Okay, let me get to this point because we read that already. It says the Germans had plentiful. This is funny. Check this out. So here it says red-haired, hairy, Caucasian type. The Germans had plentiful body hair. Most Germans are bruteness, but in some areas blonde are plentiful. Redheads are also found. The Hebrew word translated as red is admani. That's not true. It's adama. But anyways, it means reddish, and properly speaking pertains to the red hair, though it may be by extension also to be applied to the brunettes and blondes. So here we go with like some little weird shit. Okay. Let me hold on a second here. Let me show you this one. Esau in Germany. The German Edom. The ancient native Germans called their god Kaz. We read that. And assimilated him to the originally Scandinavian and Anglo-Saxon Woden. You see what I'm saying? Matt Walsh. Dear white folks, you guys are Edomites. If you're from those towns, those areas, that means that's what your blood is from. Bro, you're Edom. Sorry, my friends. I'm not sorry. Hey, Benny Johnson, you're Edomite. Matt Walsh, I think you're an Edomite, for sure. Look at all your hairy shit. Anglo and a Saxon, and you're a mutt. Josephus, Antiquities, the book of Antiquities, chapter 15, 7, I guess, .9, asserts in archaeologically inscriptions confirm that the national god of the small state of Edom in the south and east of Judah was called Kaizo. Kaz, or Kaz, also rendered as chaos. The king of Edom in the 600 BC was named Kaz Kabar. He-Man. That shit's funny. Yeah, look at this. Hey, who's He-Man? Look, I'll show you. He-Man. Look, I'll show you for you old school. He-Man. Toy. Come on. They didn't spell it right. Check it out. This is He-Man right here, bro. Ain't that a trip? He-Man. You see that shit? It's funny, huh? Oh, damn. He-Man of Kaz. This name is derived, This name is derived from the Middle Eastern form of Esau, since the initial ayin, translated in E in Esau, can be pronounced with a hard sound. Esau, under the name of Kaz, was therefore the supreme god of many in Germany. Esau, Odin, Wodan, Bhutan, Valhalla. Woden or Odin, however, is a name given to several deities, just as Odin himself had numerous names. It's still all connected. One of the forms of Odin is probably also another name of Edom. You see? Here we go. Now check this. Odin of Germany is not, hold on a second, Eric, is not necessarily the same as one-eyed Scandinavian Anglo-Saxon Odin, who we believe represented someone else. You see? I know. See what I'm saying? Bro, Anglo. Benny Johnson, you're an Edomite. You're an Anglo-Saxon. Hey, what's that lady with a long neck? She's an Anglo-Saxon, right? Wasp, the white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, you motherfuckers are Edomites. You motherfuckers are Edomites. And the Bible says, it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What did Obadiah say? What did Obadiah say about you people right there, bro? He is going to destroy your asses. Obadiah 1 and 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, we just found out, right? Esau, eagle, hello. Eagle, hello. Odin, Woden, Valhalla. You know what I'm saying? There's no way to run from this no more. And though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. How are things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? You see, like we didn't know this information before. It says, verse 8, shall I not in that day, say the Lord, even destroy the wise men of Edom? Edom. In understanding out of the mount of Esau? Fuck out of here. I showed you who you are, Benny Johnson and Matt Walsh and all of you fucking nasty ass Edomite bastards that claim and hide behind laws that oppress people that you know damn well you only do it because you hate motherfuckers. Yeah, you're very cunning. But that's it. It's over for you. It's over for you. Odin in Germany was known as the great wild hunter. Esau was also known as the hunter. I have this book. Let me see if I can, hold on. Let me see if I have it. Where is it? Here? Okay. I have this book right here. Okay. So in this book, it's called, well, I jotted it down different, but the history of the Holy Bible from the beginning of the world to the establishment of Christianity. Okay. So in this book, supposedly they're giving an explanation of some shit. But as you read this book, they're actually making excuses for Esau. Yeah. These fuckfaces like Benny Johnson and them, oh, like, you know, they always make excuses for for what the fuck they hate. It's right here. If you read this book, matter of fact, let's see. So on page 130, it starts talking about Esau. Okay? Now, I'll be honest with you, family. I want to read this whole thing, but my space got really hot, man. I ain't lying to you. It got really freaking hot. So I am going to do my best to read, but I may cut it short. Okay? Just letting y'all know. So it says Esau. And again, this is an old book. You guys can see it, you know, rewind the tape and you can take a picture of it. Download it and read it for yourself. So here he's talking about who Esau is. Esau is the Edomites or Idumeans, who were the prosperity of Esau. You see what I'm saying? So we understand this stuff. Now, it's going through like the history, but I want, let me get to the point where, hold on a second. What's up? Yeah, we will. Let me finish. Yeah, I think so. Let me finish. Sorry, fam. It was my son. Okay, so here, let me see. Hold on. Okay, here it goes right here. So, you know, in these pages, he's explaining some shit. But then here is what he says, the objection. And listen to his objection, okay? It says here, of all the promises that God made upon the patriarchs, none is so frequently repeated as that of the plenteous issue. And yet, meaning he's talking about the massive amount of kids, right? Yet, if we look into the history, we shall find that no man's wives were so frequently barren as theirs. So basically saying that, you know, like the heritage of the Israelites, their women were barren. They weren't really having that many kids, right? This is, you see where the mindset is going. What if Edom, this is Edom. This is you European motherfucker. This is those Benny Johnsons, those Matt Walsh, you know what I'm saying? Those Donald Trumps. Like all the white folks, all the white Anglo-Saxon Protestants that claim to be those people, these are Edomites. It is officially confirmed. There's no denying it. It's not about color or nothing. It's about heritage and in your own history. Exactly what you worship. And I mean, everybody has a history and eventually it gets exposed. So here you're arguing about your forefather. I can see that. Once again, oh, Father, would you please bless me, oh, Father? Once again, you just have that weak ass fucking spirit, Edom. Y'all are weak. It says, and yet, if we look into the history, we shall find that no man's wives were so frequently barren as theirs. You see? As theirs. Sarah had surpassed the ordinary term of conception about 30 years. Rebecca had been married almost 20. And Rachel full as long before any of them had a child. Hold on a second. And Rachel full as long before any of them had a child. And yet God all along promised their husbands an innumerable offspring, which can hardly be accounted for, unless we can suppose that barrenness and fruitfulness are compatible. You see that shit right there? Edom. Listen. Fuck you, okay? Hold on, matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you myself.
Fuck that puto! Fuck that puto!
And that the close-up, the wife's wombs is radius way to make the man see like the stars of heaven for multitude. So he's like, I thought that was gonna happen. But after all these large promises, Isaac, we read, had but 2 sons. And yet, what is more surprising in the divine conduct, listen to this shit, fucking white. Oh my God, now you Edomites are fucking funny to me, man. You guys are funny to me. You're so simple. You're so easy to read. Because you're so envious, man. It's like y'all express yourselves in such a fucking stupid way that you can just see it. Listen to this. We read, had but 2 sons, and yet, in parentheses or in space, what is more surprising in the divine conduct, right? Like, basically, sarcastically insulting. It's like the so-called, you know what I'm saying, didn't do what he's supposed to do. He says the younger of these was not only preferred before the elder. So here he's saying that apparently Esau was a divine conduct. That's what he's saying. Because, like, first of all, the younger should not have the birthright. He says, quite contrary to the established rights of primogenitor. So let me read it again. But after all these large promises, Isaac, we read, but had 2 sons, and yet one is more surprising in the divine conduct. The younger of these was not only preferred before the elder, quite contrary to the established rights of progenitor, but as the scriptures expressed it, God loved Jacob and hated Esau, even when the children being yet unborn had neither done good nor evil, which is a manifest instance of God partiality and no small argument of the doctrine of predestination. He says, and yet, if we inquire into the character of this child of promise, as he is called, you see, like, child of promise, like in colmillos or like in quote unquote child of promise, we shall find that his behavior did hardly deserve for particular favor. You see what I'm saying, man? You see what I'm saying? I mean, if you really look at it, this is Edom right here. Well, I mean, if you really look at it, él no se portó bien. Él me mintió. Shut up, you fucking gosh darn whiny bastards, bro. You guys are whining in your own books. And yet, if we inquire into the character of this child of promise, as he is called, you see what I'm saying? We shall find that his behavior did hardly deserve for particular favor. For the apology can we make for what apology can we make for his taking the advantage of his brother's hunger and hence overreaching him in the matter of his birthright? You see? So now they're like, well, why did you trick Esau? You mean your daddy? You see what I'm saying, white folks? Listen, we found you. You can't lie to us. You're an Edomite, bro. If you guys call yourselves Anglo-Saxons specifically, you are Edom. You're the sons of Esau. That's why you're still arguing about that shit. There is something for inhumane, something so inhumane in denying a hungry person's little visuals. And shut the fuck up. You guys are deporting people. The nerve of you. Something so selfish, really? It's expecting an orbitant price from one's own brother for a morsel pottage. Something so crafty in designing and bringing an eager appetite on the obligation of an oath that Jacob seems to have acted the mere sharper in this whole affair, nor can Esau supine negligence in giving up the privilege be reputed nearly so culpable as the other covetous, unlawful method of attaining. You see that how they're calling Jacob covetous? Damn, Esau, bro, y'all eat them. Dude, you guys think the same way. You still do. You blame everybody else for your shit. Like, you don't take account for your shit at all, even in your fucking writings. This is amazing. I can't believe you guys are like this. I mean, I guess I can now. I used to not, but now I know y'all are weak, man. That's why I could not deal with that fucking training. I heard one of your so-called leaders. Oh, bro, I was like, oh my God, this guy's fucking dumb. This guy's your leader? Shit, we're going to destroy you. And if we cannot excuse him in this, what shall we say for his fraudulent practice in intercepting his father's blessing? You see that? Fraudulent practice, bro. What the fuck? You see what I'm saying? Hold on. I have to play this song. I have to play this. I have to play it. Hold on a second. I have to play it. I fucking have to play it, man. This is the the old 12 tribe stuff, man. But I mean, this shit is perfect. Perfect.
That's right. Get prepared for war, Negroes. That niggas better stand the hell up, man. They don't give a damn about you Negroes, man. But you want to love every damn body, man.
I'm gonna take a break, family.
Goddamn guts. This how we banging on Esau. Prophesy scriptures flaming on Esau. Friends ain't holding hands with no Esau. Repent, it ain't a chance for no Esau. I stacked against Esau. Yahweh Shai coming back to get Esau. If you a Jake, you better turn from old Esau. Repent, or you gon' burn with old Esau. I'm on the streets and my sword is out. Bringing the scriptures, I'm showing you what the Lord about. The time is now to repent and keep the commandments. We need to examine the reason why my people is damaged, deceitful, and evil. Towards another sister or brother, the life of a savage. That's the mind filled with the swine who think Christ was a faggot. Caesar Borgia on the cross, and if for that you shed a tear, then you lost. The black Messiah prophesied against Esau, spreading truth to all the lies against Esau. Israelites, 12 tribes against Esau. Hebrews, we on the rise against Esau. This how we banging on Esau. Prophesy scriptures flaming on Esau. Friends ain't holding hands with no Esau. Repent, it ain't a chance for no Esau. I stacked against Esau. Yahweh Shai coming back to get Esau. If you a Jake, you better turn from old Esau. Repent, or you gon' burn with old Esau. 28, that's the proof that we needed to show who we are today. The people you call Jesus is foe. We men of the Lord, and one thing that you heathens should know: when he return, we gon' even his scope. 200 million angels and chariots hover the earth, bringing destruction and redemption to a third of us that suffered the curse. Put us back in the Holy Land, that's right, we taking it back. The Israelites exterminating you rats. The black Messiah prophesied against Esau, spreading truth to all the lies against Esau. Israelites, 12 tribes against Esau. Hebrews, we on the rise against Esau. This how we banging on Esau. Prophesy scriptures flaming on Esau. Friends.
I had to do that, bro. I had to take a break. I had to take a whiz. Any of you guys that don't like that song, well, too bad. That sounds pretty good, though. Anyways, you get the point. The fraudulent ways of this guy. Listen, look what he's saying about Jacob. The sons of Esau are upset. And if we can not excuse him in this, what shall we say for his fraudulent practice in intercepting his father's blessing? Here, let me say it like a white dude. And if we can excuse him in this, what shall we say for the fraudulent practice in intercepting his father's blessing? Like, what the shut up, man. Hold on.
Fuck that puto. Fuck that puto.
Still complaining, huh? Anyways, let's continue. In averring himself to the persons he was not. See, in averring himself to be the person he was not. You see this? So think about this, family. They know who you are, and they think of you like that. So they say you don't deserve the promise. They don't see you as anybody else but that. You see the hate perpetually in this bloodline. Scriptures talk about that shit. Perpetual hatred. Perpetual, güey. Perpetual. I mean, you can even type it in. It just shows up everywhere. Check it. Let me see. Hold on a second. If I can find it. What is it? Shit. I know we're bringing realization. Hold on a second. It should come to pass now and prepare. Hold on a second, family. Because here goes. 35. Ezekiel 35:5. Prophesy against Mount Seir. Now, again, you guys should know better. Oh, hey, what's up, sis? How you doing? Oh, my bad.
Fuck that puto.
No, that's not what I meant. There you go. Hallelujah. Nah, well, I mean, I don't know, bro. It's about an hour and a half. I haven't, compared to my other classes, nah, this is not even long. I'm about to finish soon, though. Because my wife's making some ribs and shit, and I want to have some of that shit, bro. You know, I'm not going to tell you about what happened. But the point being is we're making ribs, all right? And I want some of that shit. What up? Hey, Julio. Yeah, bring it out. Kiss my foot. Esau. Motherfuckers. Hey, man, they're historically identified now. There ain't no denying it, bro. This is their God. That's why they rule with chaos. You know what I'm saying? That's the way they do things. That's their God, man. Edom, Odin, Wudan, Valhalla, all of those. Man, that pertains to them. Germans, European, like, bro, they can't deny it no more. You know? So it's like, prove to me you're not. I mean, you say it in your books, dumbasses, if you just fucking read. Because thou hast had perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of their sword in the times of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Ezekiel 35:5. I'm going to say this right now to you. There is always an envy because apparently, what do they call themselves now? They're saying they're Native Americans. Aren't they saying that? They're the real natives. We're the real natives. We're the real natives. We are the real natives. This is who you are. An envious nation. And telling a multitude of positive lies. You see this? So let's start. And if we cannot excuse him in this, what shall we say for his fraudulent practice in intercepting the Father's blessing, in the adverting himself to be the person he was not, in telling a multitude of positive lies, in lifting the instigation, in listening to the instigation of a crafty woman, his mother, and imposing upon the blindness and infirmity of his aged father, and in making even God himself a party to the fraud? For so he confidently tells his father, the Lord thy God had brought the Venetian to me, and if we cannot acquit the son, who acted only in subordination, what shall we say for the mother herself, who was the prime author or contriver of the whole plot? Now, keep this in mind, that this type of hatred is exactly the reason why in 1662 they passed a law, partis sequitur ventrum, that whatever comes out of the womb is what you are. So if your mom was a slave, so were you. This is why these fucking MAGA motherfuckers hate women. You guys Edomites hate women by nature, bro. You just can't. You're just weird like that. Yeah, you like them, but you hate them. That's who you are. So you're blaming the mom as well, but you don't understand, and yet you ignore what I guess you should say. You know, isn't the Most High in charge of everything? So whose plot was it? God, now you're saying here in this chapter, here, let me read this paragraph again, family, so you can understand how the sons of Esau, the WASP, white Anglo-Saxons, predominantly, those that believe in Odin, Wudan, Valhalla, all of that shit, this is who I'm talking to. And if we cannot excuse him in this, what shall we say for his fraudulent practice in intercepting his father's blessing? They're defending Esau right now. And adverting himself to the person he was not. They're defending Esau. And telling a multitude of positive lies and listening to the instigation of the crafty mother. Now they insulted the mom and defending Esau. His mother. However, his mom is the mother of Esau. Let's not forget. And imposing upon the blindness and infirmity of his aged father. Now, here they don't realize that he just said it himself. Aged father. The man is an old man. Maybe the wife knew not to let him make that decision. And in making even God himself a party to the fraud. Now, because see, then you mean that God is subject to our actions, not we. For so he confidently tells his father, the Lord thy God had brought the Venetian to me, and if we cannot acquit the son, who acted only in subordination, what shall we say for the mother herself, who was the prime author? You see, so now they're like, it's the woman and the controvert of the whole plot. So what do we see here? We see a root, a spirit, a complainer, one that doesn't understand exactly what they created themselves. Nobody took that shit from you. Your wicked ways gave it away. And like every mom that is a Hebrew would know their son. See, you Christmas Christians don't show love to the woman like that. We all understand our space. She still can also understand the children. Isn't that what the scriptures talk about? Don't the men in the Bible go to war and the woman raises the children? Don't your New Testament say the same shit? Paul talks about that too. The head, the father, the woman, the kids. Do you not pay attention to your own so-called beliefs? You don't, because you're not. You're Esau, Edom. You're hateful. This is Isus, is a Celtic god. So this is where you get that name, Jesus. So for all of you that misunderstand exactly what we believe in this channel, because I do know people here, I talk to them, we don't believe in the same Christianity that you believe. That white Jesus that you're talking about, this is the one that they're worshiping right here. Jesus. I'm going to show you something. Why do you think that name is important? In this book here we got, let me show you something. It's called Judaism, the Ancient Faith of Britain. Okay? By Dudley Wright. Let me go to the additional information here. Printed and bound by London, you know what I'm saying? You see that shit. There it goes. The Ancient Faith of Britain by Dudley Wright, 1924. Let me see if I could find this particular word here. Check this out. On page 35, the Creed of Judaism. The Helvetia, okay, that's, Greek, I think. A work published in the 16th century gives the following list of Druidical deities and divinities. Theotatus or Taut or Jesus. Now, these names come up often related to that name. And, you know, again, these are names that are being used in these Egyptian practices. Jesus or Isus, the strong and powerful, was a representative of Mars, the god of war, carnage, and bloodshed. In the German patios of Switzerland, Heus still means a violent and quarrelsome person. You see this? Now, let's just consider, some writers have stated that this divinity was pictured with the head of a dog. If so, it's probably identical with the barking Anubis of the Egyptian mythology, who was claimed to be the son of Osiris and Nephthys, and to have had the nature and characteristic of a dog. This divinity had a special guardianship of the tropics. According to the Welsh triad, Heus or Jesus or Esus brought the people of Singri into the Isles from the summer. Again, we see this. This is interesting here. Being an identical with the Hebrew Jah, the Latin Deus being derived from the same word, another maintained the name has Eusus. Comes from Syrian Jesus or Hasis, meaning strong and powerful in war. Or Jesus again. Now, I want to show you this real quick, and then we'll move on from this. But I don't think, maybe we'll. Belenus, since we're on the topic, known in the Old Testament times as Baal, is identical with the Apollo, the son of the god of sun. A wood in the neighborhood of Luasain is still known as Suabelin. The Sylvia Beleni and traces of the name are to be found in many parts of England. Belus is also a Babylonian title of Ham, whose descendants include the Cushites and the Cadmeans. Both were zealous adorers of the sun and addicted to riots of fire. Ham. Anyhow, we see the name Isus. So now check this out. Let me bring you back to some of this stuff real quick, because my son he needs my help, so I'm about to finish. So here we see the name called Astargis. Atargatis was the chief goddess of northern Syria, classical antiquity. So this is what it is. There's different names of the god, but again, it goes back to what? The eagle. And here's where it gets really interesting, okay? This religion, this creed, these gods, these theories, concepts, or philosophies that they start generating. It says here, her consort is usually Hadad, as Atarateth. Doves and fish are considered sacred to her. Christianity is very heavy on that shit. You see the stickers on cars with the fish and shit, or you see the doves, you know what I'm saying? All those pictures. This is basically their beliefs. So Christianity has a lot of influence in this shit. Let me see what you're saying. Everything just came into fruition. It all makes sense. Black and white checkerboard squares, Freemasonry, the Caucasian, Asian Moors, Berbers. Yeah, yes, sir. There you go, bro. You got it. So we see how deep these gods that they created for themselves, and then they make you think that you're worshiping your own God. Nah, they're worshiping them. Isus, Esau, Edom. That's why they have their white Jesus. And this isn't about a white or black one either. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you about what the fuck that is about. According to the 3rd century Syriac source, in Syria, in Ur-Hai, the men used to castrate themselves to honor the Taratat. But when King Akbar became a Christian believer, he commanded that everyone who emasculated himself should have a hand cut off. And from that day to the present, no one in the Ur-Hai emasculated himself anymore. Supposedly. I don't believe it. I think you guys are just weirdos. Like Benny Johnson and shit. That dude is in the closet, bro. That's my opinion, man. I'm just telling you, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can just tell, dog. Now, keep this in mind of who the hell this is here. Sarah. was a goddess in ancient Semitic religion. She also appears in Hadvite writings. So this is another name for what we just read. And we see here, where is that word? Or damn it. I think I lost the word, family. Is this, oh, I think it's behind. Hold on. There it goes. Here. So check this out. So mythology on this name, okay? This name, which as you can see who it is, right? Edom. Edom. This is their history, okay? So now watch this. Diodorus Siculus, which I've showed you many, matter of fact, I showed you even the history about us, how they knew we were here, but they never landed. Anyway, let's continue. Quoting Theseus of Sinus tells how Deserto fell in love with the beautiful young youth named Simois, also Ichthyes, I guess, meaning fish, and bore a daughter, but becoming ashamed of the illicit love, Deserto flung herself into a lake near Ashkelon, and her body was changed into the form of a fish, though her head remained human. So that's where you get the whole like mermaid shit. In Diodorus' version of the legend, Deserto also despised a child from this union, and had exposed the daughter to the desert, where she was raised by doves. This child grew up to be Semiramis. Doves, Semiramis, the legendary Assyrian queen. Lucian also knows that the erection of the temple of Hierapolis was ascribed by some to Semiramis, who dedicated it to her mother, Deserto. Now, you guys should know who Semiramis is. Semiramis is basically this. The second myth, the Semiramis birth myth, is told by various writers as an alternate version of the birth of Venus, is a Roman goddess whose function encompassed love, beauty, all that shit. Okay, so check this out. From an egg carried ashore by fish, then hatched by doves. Fish and doves. However, Theseus felt compelled to drop the egg element according to the analysis. It says this seemed a gratuitous, incredible accession to the analyst, given that Venus' birth from an ocean-found egg was not a far cry from familiar versions of the Aphrodite Venus Genesis out of the water, sea foam. So you see these historical relations with these people. Now let's look at this real quick. How much time do I got? Shit, I better hurry up. So here's what Isus. I think we saw this already, right? Greco-Roman text. Isus. Esau. Edom. This is you. Benny Johnson, Matt Walsh, all you white Anglo-Saxons who claim to be Christians. This is you. And I will probably, you'll never invite me, but I could debate you on this shit too. Let's do it. Don't ignore the Bible, because that's the source. Boom, Isus, powerful Celtic deities, one of three mentioned by Roman poets. This is you. You can't deny it. Check this out, family. Let him say what he's got to say.
Concerning the Edomites went with the lost tribes, and at first they ruled over a god called Esau. And in that region we find that Esos, a god called Esos, was worshipped. Also, he had a woman called Rose Myrta, whose name means the marvelous red one. And Esos is the name Esos himself is a form of the name Asa. And he was worshipped. We find inscriptions concerning him in Gaul and in Britain and in Western Germany. And we identify this Esos with Asa. And also people in Normandy was known as the Suebians, who claimed descent from this god. His worship was well known. He was a major god in the pantheon of the Celtic peoples. And the aspects of this god, such as worshipping on a tree and so on, and his attributes of rage and another things, which connect him up with Odin or Woden, who was later worshipped by Germanic tribes. The Germanic tribes came in, imposed themselves over the Celtics, and they.
You see how he's saying it, bro? He's saying it. They were worshiping. Can you wait for me to fucking do that? They were worshiping Odin. Order out of chaos. Fueled. Oh, my bad. Fueled and ruled by chaos or cause. This is Edom. There is no if, ands, or buts about it. White Anglo-Saxons, y'all are Edomites. Charlie Kirk is an Edomite. Benny Johnson is an Edomite. Matt Walsh is an Edomite. Now you understand where their fucking hatred is? Hatred is coming from these people here. Perpetual hatred. From who? Mount Seir. They don't hate the fucking Israelis, the self-proclaimed Israelites. No, they don't hate them. We're supposed to support them. Shut the fuck up. If you really are these people, then guess what, bro? You should not be supporting them. See what I'm saying? He talked about, let's see what else. Let's see this right here real quick. I think he said it in Edom's violence against Jacob. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, this is Obadiah 1:10, shame shall come over thee, shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. What are we battling here? Hatred, bro. You guys keep saying anti-Semitism, but then you're like, okay, well, who are the not Semites?
Corrected the kingdoms of Germany and France and the British Isles, and not all of them were of one caste. There were different people. Some of them were Israelites, some of them were also the Edomites, descent from Edom. And the Suwabi were partly from Joseph and partly from Esau. They were very important. Suwabi were mainly from Esau. They were one of the dominant groups over the Germans. And they too worshipped Odin, and there are different versions and different aspects of the worship of Odin. It may be that the type of worship known to the Scandinavians was different from that of the Germans. Nevertheless, we have aspects of Odin as it was worshipped by the Germans, such as Wild Hunter and so on, which relate him back to Esau.
Wild Hunter. Now, family, I want to tell you this right now. In this channel of ours, I don't have to prove that the so-called indigenous people of the Americas are the Israelites by just talking about the curses. Not at all, my friends. I have proven it day in and day out from every level. And when I start pointing out certain nationalities based on who they are, I use history. So if you're like a Moreno out there all griped out about what I do, I use history. And that's how I identify you. Today is Edom's moment. And I wanted to express my fucking just awareness to my gente of how you should also be aware. Let me finish it with some videos, man. And I appreciate y'all to stick around, bro. Watch this real quick for me, please. Just stick around and watch this for me. I got some messages and then we out.
Most Americans didn't know that the United States had actually stolen all that land from Mexico. Going back in history to the 1800s, the U.S. was actively expanding westward. At the time, newly independent Mexico was looking to grow its economy. It began renting land to American settlers in Texas. the settlers brought slaves with them, which was completely illegal for the country. When the Mexican government tried to ban it, the settlers revolted, won the war, and declared their independence as the Republic of Texas. After 9 years, the United States annexed Texas, but President James K. Polk wanted to get his hands on California as well. He offered Mexico $20 million for the land, but was turned down. Then he sent U.S. soldiers into the disputed region on the border, knowing it would lead to conflict. The Mexican army attacked them, and Polk used this as an excuse for war against Mexico. The United States, being more powerful, won easily and forced Mexico to sell a huge amount of its territory for $15 million. In less than 20 years, Mexico lost half of its territory. Most Americans didn't know that the United States...
Now, a lot of you guys will be like, it's fucked up, homie. It's fucked up, homie. Do you know what's more fucked up? When people lie to you. What's more fucked up is when people lie to you, bro. Because that happened around that time. Do you understand that shit? This is fucked up when people lie to you. So when they took this little area here, like, it wasn't just white folks. You see, when you have a broad sense of history, you're not going to neglect the obvious. People work together, man. This is a checkerboard, like the brother said. Check it out. This is how they did it. This is why they target things. And again, you know, this is just news. It's just news. If it's true, I hope it is. If it ain't, well, then I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm not.
We work many different ways, but perhaps the most common is that we will identify a third world country that has resources our corporations covet, like oil, and then arrange a huge loan to that country from the World Bank or one of its sisters. However, the money never goes to the country. Instead, it goes to our own corporations to build infrastructure projects in that country, power plants, highways, industrial parks, things that benefit a few rich people in that country, as well as our own corporations, but do not help the majority of the people at all. And yet the whole country, is left holding a huge debt. And it's such a huge debt they can't possibly repay it. So at some point, the economic hitmen go back and say, you owe us a lot of money, you can't repay your debts, so give us a pound of flesh. When I failed to bring them around, to get them to accept these loans, to get them to put their countries into servitude, then I knew that standing right behind me were what we call the jackals. And these are people who overthrow governments or assassinate their leaders. And both Jaime Roldos of Ecuador and Omar Torrijos of Panama were assassinated by CIA-sponsored jackals because I failed to corrupt them. We work many different ways.
Let me show you the Venezuela takeover. A lot of you Edomites always want to fucking ignore how you're in power. And how you miss the fact that every other country, which is not from here. By the way, think about this for a moment. Edom, Esau, sons of Esau, daughters of Esau, you know what I'm saying? Sons of Odin, Woden, sons and daughters of, you know, Valhalla. You know what I'm saying? Isus. Think about it for a moment. How do you think other countries function? Do you think they function without your dollar bill? Or do you think they function with your dollar bill? Okay, so that's the first question. Second, if they function with your dollar bill, how can they, since you got complete control of your dollar bill, take advantage of your dollar bill? How can they try to manipulate contracts if they're subject to SWIFT accounts or SWIFT, you know, the whole system between how these transactions parlay? Do you understand what we're talking about here? Are we ignorant, or are we stupid, or are we just the sons of Esau that just son bola de pendejos and full of hate? Oh shit, my bad.
Supporting Venezuelans for months since he took office. Let's examine why we, the United States, are the reason they are trying to emigrate here in the first place. In 2005, Venezuela started selling cheap oil to poor Caribbean countries like Cuba, Haiti, and Nicaragua, either on credit or in exchange for goods instead of cash up front, keeping energy costs low so these countries could invest more in healthcare, education, and food programs. In 2013, the Obama administration, realizing U.S. oil companies couldn't match Venezuela's generous prices, but we still wanted to dominate the market, launched the Caribbean Energy Security Initiative. And under the guise of helping them go green, we began to pressure Caribbean countries to switch to more expensive U.S. natural gas and renewable energy, something that required massive investments up front that these countries couldn't afford anyway. Now, in 2014, the State Department warned that countries dependent on Venezuelan oil could be destabilized economically, and that eliminating Petrocaribe would create a serious humanitarian challenge in our near neighborhood. But that doesn't deter us, right? In 2017, before ultimately admitting we were seeking regime change, the first Trump administration began financial sanctions against Venezuela, preventing them from accessing U.S. banking and borrowing money, making it illegal for companies worldwide to buy their oil if those companies wanted to do business with the U.S. And since oil was what Venezuela's economy was mostly based on, 90% of their government revenue dried up almost overnight. We also blocked food and medicine imports, seized Citgo, a U.S.-based oil company owned by Venezuela, and froze $24 billion in their government's assets in U.S. banks. And now, since Venezuela couldn't afford to keep subsidizing oil to Cuba, Haiti, and Nicaragua, those countries had to cut social programs, leading to massive protests and emigration. 7 million people from Venezuela alone fled. 40,000 died from the medicine blockade, and until the Supreme Court stopped it, until a few months ago, we were deporting Venezuelans without trials, paying El Salvador to imprison them. To sum up, we destroyed a program keeping millions fed and housed because it threatened our profits. We knew there would be a refugee crisis, and as soon as that happened, we blamed them and used the crisis to win elections. While this follows the same playbook we used in Guatemala, El Salvador, and Nicaragua, where governments were achieving progress by using their own resources for their people, and then we destroyed them and blamed the chaos on socialism, Venezuela has had internal problems. U.S. sanctions have made everything much worse, cutting off Venezuela's ability to recover, causing people to die from lack of...
Hear all that shit? So before you go to assume stuff, so you understand exactly what you're doing. Edom and the children of Edom are very confused. Now this message goes to everybody, man. I'm just letting y'all know, bro. You guys think this is kind of funny? It's really not, man. Like I can't believe they. I mean, let's put it this way. First of all, let's not even talk about the people that are arresting. Have you guys not noticed that every week there's like a fucking shooting? Have you guys not noticed that almost every month there's a like something to do with weather? You know what I mean? So it's anyway, let me show you guys this.
Name one time Trump was racist. Okay, I will. 1973, the Nixon administration sued Trump for refusing to rent to black people. 1980s, Trump's casinos were accused of hiding the black staff when Trump visited. 1989, Trump took out a full-page ad arguing for the death penalty for a group of 5 black men at Central Park 5, effectively putting a bounty on their heads and plaguing them with a lifetime of death threats. He was sued by the Justice Department for discrimination. 1991, black guys counting my money, I hate it. The only kinds of people I want counting my money are short guys that wear yarmulkes every day. I think that the black guy is lazy, and it's probably not his fault because laziness is a trait in blacks. It really is. 1992, Trump's casino was fined $200,000 for transferring black dealers off certain tables to appease racist patrons. 1993, Trump said Native American casinos shouldn't be allowed because they don't look like Indians to me. 2000, Trump ran a series of attack ads against Native American casinos, alleging, with no proof, that they were guilty of crimes. 2004, Trump fired a black contestant from The Apprentice for being overeducated. 2010, Trump arguing in favor of segregating Muslims in Lower Manhattan. 2011, birtherism. Trump alleged that Obama was Kenyan based on nothing but skin color. He never apologized nor denied. Name.
Everybody follows, bro. Like I said, bro, you're collateral damage, man. You are collateral damage. Here, let me show you this real quick. Is this one? Nah, I don't want to waste my time on this shit. I think this is funny. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? Most High is in the power of everything. But based on what we read, at least what I read, It almost is there.
Already knew it. And if you live in the U.S., pay attention. In the fictional episode The Great Exit, Springfield faces chaos when strict policies force immigrants to leave. At first, no one notices, but soon, factories shut down, stores empty, and prices skyrocket. Marge can't afford fruit, and Bart realizes no one wants the hard jobs. Chaos spreads, and the city crumbles. Lisa investigates and discovers Springfield's economy relied on immigrants. Without them, businesses fail, industries collapse, and life becomes unbearable. Desperate, Mayor Quimby tries to bring them back, but it's too late. The once thriving city is in ruins, with Homer staring in shock. The episode raises an important question. What if this happened in real life? The Simpsons use humor, but the message is serious. Immigrants keep the economy running, and their absence could lead to disaster. Would the U.S. survive such a crisis? Would life change forever? Share your thoughts.
Some people are really asking themselves those questions, man. While other people are asking themselves these questions. Now, this is why I know that the fucking shit is hitting the fan. Thank you for sending me this shit, brother.
Scientists is saying that he saw a 7-foot-tall alien race that looked like African Americans on what he describes to be getting off a mile-long spaceship. Let's talk about it. And my first thought when I read that he saw this race that resembled Africans, now it was alleged to have been seen at some type of Air Force base, and he said it was hundreds of them. And they looked like a black race, and they were huge. And he said they had an arrogant look of like conquerors that have never been conquered. I know that's right, aliens. Y'all better serve.
From now on, everything's flammable. A Hebrew man's a whole different animal. I had a lot of hate in my heart. I still do. Somebody that'll lie to your face or get you killed too. You can name a time and a place, I bring a grill through. Return of the real Jews. I'm sick of bad raps and these dad hats. Hope the next drug they take me a bad batch. All my enemies is red, they some lab rats. When I die, flame emoji by my...
NASA scientists.
I didn't expect that shit. Thank you for saying. I didn't realize that it was all that shit right there, bro. Oh my god, this is fucking funny. You can't really hear that. She said a bunch of aliens looking like them. Woolly hair, dog. Hey man, well, you know what I mean. It is what it is, bro. Somebody has it wrong. I know that. I don't think it's me. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's me. So. If I have it wrong, then I have it wrong. And that's the way it is. That's the difference between people that know who they are or people that think they know who they are. Let me end it with this right here, family. And then we'll call it a day. Bible study ministry. What nation came out of Esau? What nations came out of Esau? It says here, let's get to this point. The question was, what nation came out of Esau? In fact, Esau helped give rise to the formation of numerous nationalities. He seems, however, to have played more of a elite developmental role, and not significantly that of the begetter of the masses of the people. I guess I forgot the medieval times when you guys were like shitting in your own fucking rivers. Stop, please. Just fucking understand that y'all were dirty too. Dirtier than most people. Then he says, Esau, Genesis 25:25, was a twin brother of Jacob, otherwise acknowledged as Israel. Genesis 32:28, Genesis 35:10. Esau was also known as Edom. Odin, remember that name? Odin, Wooden, you know what I'm saying? Valhalla. Cause, chaos. He was born hairy, reddish in color. In Hebrew, Adami, usually understood as meaning red-haired. Esau was a warrior living by the sword. This term, implying red-haired, was also applied to, they say that, whatever. So let me continue. Let's see what we got. Okay, here it goes right here. Check this out. This is interesting. Esau contributes to the early history of Europe. Descendants of Esau gave rise to Sparta in Greece, and to the early settlers of Rome and the Roman Empire. Edomites, Charlie Kirk, Benny Johnson, Matt Walsh. Y'all are Edomites, as well as Israelites, Hebrews, were important in the early history of Europe. Yeah, but either way, y'all are fucking Edomites, so it doesn't matter. Great military leaders appear to have been descendants of Esau, so they say. One of the characteristics of Edom is a hatred of Judah. Do they hate those people? Fuck no. Who do they hate? Our gente. They hate you Mexicans. All over the world, as disproportionate number of military types tend to be anti-Semitic. Now, keep this in mind. Hold on. Let me just finish this and I'll say this. Being anti-Semitic is to be anti-Shem, as in Shem, the son of Noah. To be anti-Semitic is to be against Arabs and many others who are in the family line of Shem. But no, like you can't be anti-Semitic if you're Semitic. Because that would mean that you're like a Hamite or a Japhite. A prominent descendant of Esau through his son Eliphaz, which he and Jasher, Esau sent this kid to go try to kill Jacob, was Amalek. It's interesting how this all works. Throughout the centuries, prominent persecutors of the Jewish people were the offspring of Amalekites. One of the characteristics of Edom one of the characteristics of Edom is the principle of leadership. Here's the point, fam. Fascism. Fascism.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Embodies Edomite principle. Fascism embodies Edomite principle. So all these white people, how they are fascist as fuck, it's because they're Edomites. You know what, bro? I got a song for you. I got a song for you. I got a fucking song for you. I think I recorded it. Yeah, I do. I fucking do. Thank you. All right, listen. Oh no, not this one. Hold on, is it this one? No, this one.
You're an Edomite in the next life. In the next life, you will forever be an Edomite. It's just what the Bible says. You will forever be an Edomite. Just because you're an Edomite in this life doesn't. It means you're going to be an Edomite in the next life. In the next life. In the next life. You will never be an Israelite. I will never be an Israelite. You will never be an Israelite. I wanted to live life how God intended life to be lived. I wanted to humbly be in my place. I humbly accept that I, an Edomite, will either be slaughtered by God's angels or be a slave to the Israelites. And I accept that, and I live my life to the fullest. Because right now, this is our world. We are the wicked. Forever be an Edomite. You are not just an Edomite. Forever be an Edomite.
Washington, D.C. has an occult layout. Watch this.
Video family. That wasn't the video I was trying to show y'all, but I guess I'll take it. Shit, it's funny, man. Fascism. In Chronicle 1, in 1 Chronicles 1:52, we have an expression, the chief of Edom. So too, Genesis 36:15 through 19 speaks of the dukes of Esau. I find that so interesting, my friends. Do you want to know why I find that so interesting, my friends? Nothing escapes my freaking ears, okay? My friend BTC sent me this shit, and let's listen to this.
I've been saying it for 30 years, and people, when I tell them, their eyes just go dead. The owners of the world are the royals, kings, queens, dukes, duchesses, imams, popes, wizards that own every single dime on earth and bank at the Bank of International Settlements. That's the owners of the world who decide every war and arm both sides because they make money. They're arms dealers. I've been saying it for 30 years, and people, when I tell them, their eyes just go dead. The owners of the world are the royals, kings, queens, dukes.
Dukes, I wanted her to say it. The chiefdoms of Edom. So too, Genesis speaks of the dukes of Esau. The word used in Hebrew. Translated as dukes, as aloofims. Aloof, connotating leader, instructor. The English word help may derive from the Hebrew force. Source, fascism and Nazism as a political system is in effect embodied Edomite principal motherfucking Poles. The ancient native Germans called the idol, who was otherwise known as Odin, by the very name Kaz, because you are Edom. You are Edom. White Anglo-Saxons, you guys are Edomites. Stop fucking lying. Stop lying. Stop lying. Own it. You know what I mean? You're basically racist as fuck anyway, so might as well own it. You're Edomites. Just fucking own it. The ancient native Germans called the idol, who was otherwise known as Odin, by the name Kaz. Josephus Antiquities 15.79 asserts an archaeological inscription verified that the national god of the small state of Edom in the south and the east of Judah was called Kiazo, or Kaz, or Kaz, also rendered as cows. This name is derived from the Middle Eastern form of the name Esau, since the initial ayin, translated in E and Esau, can be pronounced in the hard sound. Oh, I think I read that before. The point being is Odin. The point being is Odin. And then Rosmerta means what? Red. Jesus. Jesus. Esau. You see that? Esau. Esivus. The red Edom the Magnificent. Stop lying, man. Did somebody just read my shit? Okay, I guess it did. Hold on, family. I can't roll down the screen. Hold up. Give me a second. Oh, I see. Hold on. I think I'm gonna fucking get scared by you. Hold on a second, family. Bro, what the fuck, bro? Damn, bro, that was crazy. My screen paused. I see what we're trying to do here. Oh, I see what you're trying to do. That's nuts. You know, it got rid of all my other screens, by the way. Yeah, it did. It did. It got rid of all my other screens. Well, hold on a second. I got you, you fucker. De la Berg, wait. Let me see if this is it. Hold on. Nah. Okay, maybe that's it. But man, this is fucked up, dude. I can't believe that shit happened right at that time. Why? What a dick. What a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. Two different creations, the hunter and the farmer. That's for sure. That's exactly what it is. Man, you know what? I just got attacked by some weird shit. Let me see if I can do this. Matter of fact, you know what? It's all good. But I did want to show this video at the end. I kind of, man, I didn't want to do it, to be honest with you, but I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to show it. Because you want to know something? It's about 30 minutes long, so just fucking enjoy it, dude. Enjoy it because the shit's about to hit the fan with Edomites. And fuck these motherfuckers, because at least we know who they are. You're doing what you're doing because I know who you are. And I know you know who we are. That's why you're doing what you're doing. Maybe spiritually speaking, you don't know why you're doing it. But we know why you're doing it. Ain't no way, shape, or form that you can actually deny who the fuck you are anymore. You know what I'm saying? Here, let me see what you got, bro, before I go. There was an apple. There was never an apple. The forbidden fruit in the garden was not to have sex. The first created were given authority to have dominion over the earth and have sex. And what? There was hold on a second. Okay, so there was never an apple. That's true. The forbidden fruit in the garden was not to have sex. Okay, well, let me see that. The first created were given authority to have dominion over the earth and have sex and replenish the earth. Yeah, the first in chapter 1. And then you notice that that Adam and his girl, let's just say that, were created different. Those guys were created from the dust of the ground, and Eve was not. She came out of the rib. So it's a total different process. But I get your point. Enjoy this shit, man, because you want to know something, man? I fucking love the fact of laughing at you people, bro. Like, what did you think? I mean, what the fuck were you thinking? Like, you really thought that people, I mean, seriously? You are in our lands. We make shit happen. You don't have to wait for us to make it happen. We make shit happen. Hey, this is a long one, so enjoy it. And then we out.
I'd rather have Trump as a dictator than Biden any day. It's kind of obvious who knows what they're doing. There's no dictatorship with Trump. He cares. He's for America.
Trump wins, will you accept the results? Of course. If Kamala wins, will you accept the results? No.
If you don't like it, don't come here to protest. Don't come if you're uneducated and you don't know what you're talking about.
You would rather they just didn't come here?
I would rather them not come here.
Are you a fan of the First Amendment?
Absolutely. You know, the right to bear arms. Look, this is...
That's not the First Amendment.
No, the Fourth Amendment. But I'm saying...
That's not the Fourth Amendment either.
Which one is it?
And they don't know our American history and our values.
Nor do they respect it.
So when he says poisoning our country, it sounds harsh. It sounds much nicer in the original German.
Yeah.
That Trump is made about women, grab them by the pussy. You could do whatever you want. Like, do those bother you? Do those affect you at all?
I don't bother me.
Just want to check.
LGBTQ, you know, I mean, I think they're garnering a lot of attention that is unwarranted. I mean, they're 1% of the population. So why are we reaching out and doing all this for 1% of the population?
I guess because it's 1% of the population.
I didn't care how things were affecting others until it affected me. Am I proud of that? No. We live in a very cruel world, and sometimes the only way to survive is by being selfish. We are all just out here trying to survive as best we can. And although we may have good intentions and we may be empathetic and we may be compassionate, we will always put ourselves first because we have to survive. And if that means making a mistake in my vote or maybe putting my trust in the wrong person like I did, then that's what it means. I will always put the betterment of my family and vote in ways that I think will help my family above anyone else.
Here's the problem with voting for your self-interest. I understand Maslow's hierarchy of needs. When you're on the bottom and none of your needs are fulfilled, you can only think of yourself. But here's the problem with that, is you voted for your self-interest. So did everybody else in the Republican Party. Think about that for a minute. You voted for your self-interest, but you don't have anything. Like, you don't have anything. Like, that's what it is. But other people, rich people, they have a lot. So of course they're gonna vote for their self-interest because they have something. You don't. You need the tribe, right? The socialized healthcare, the socialized dental care, schools, firefighters, police officers, all socialized systems. Is it clicking? Yeah. You voted against the tribe. You know, humans didn't make it on their own. We always existed in a tribe, taking care of each other. You could only take care of yourself if you have something, and you don't have shit.
Sad day in America when all we can afford is some ground beef. Work 40 hours all week and can't even afford a steak. Something going on. Come on now, Trump. Help us out.
Oh, hey there, bud. I almost missed you. Couldn't hear you over the sound of me munching on my steak. Yeah, it seems kind of interesting. It looks like you're asking for socialism. You're reaching out to the government to help you because you don't have steak money. You only have ground beef money. But you know what? Maybe you should try something. I have a strategy. Why don't you try pulling yourself up by your bootstraps? I think that might help you because isn't that what MAGA has said forever is get off the government tee, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Like, why don't you, sir, just work harder? Why don't you just work more? Why don't you work harder? Because I guarantee, according to your logic, if you work harder, you too will be able to have steak money and not rely.
My gordito friends in the Anglo-Saxon world, you guys are about to fucking starve. This shit is really coming, man. You guys think it's a joke. I mean, you guys not paying attention? The fucking farms are not being worked, bro. Like, people are really getting deported. We're not seeing it maybe in your own cities and shit, but this shit's not a joke.
On just eating ground beef. But, is that not possible? I bet if I ask you, you'd say you already work hard enough. I bet you'd actually say something along the lines of, I worked my ass off. Well, that's because that's what this country is. So many people are struggling right now to make ends meet. And it doesn't matter how hard they're working. It doesn't matter if they have one job or two or a side hustle or whatever the case may be. People are struggling to have the steak money. That is the point, but you cannot tell me in one breath, socialism is bad, don't go to the government, pull yourself...
Yeah, I don't know about all that. Okay, let's hurry up. I just think this shit is funny, man.
Cost of living crisis chews through paychecks like a paper shredder. Groceries cost more than rent used to. Healthcare is getting ripped away from people who need it most, and somehow...
Check it. I own a business, man. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I do have to spend money on certain things. Not, I am an employee, and I don't have to spend money on certain things. Like, I don't have to worry about marketing. I don't have to worry about a membership of, like, holding clientele list. I don't have to worry about buying leads or generating leads. I don't have to, if I'm an employee, I don't have to worry about, keeping a website, making adjustments, making changes. I don't have to worry about maybe paying for printing of a new flyer when I'm an employee. You see what I'm saying? So when you're an employer, you think of those fucking things. And when I saw this shit happening, bro, I wasn't thinking in an envious way. I was like, bro, like, people got to pay their part. Do you guys realize that the more money that is given in one pot, the less money is available for the rest of the people? Do you think it's right for homelessness to be available, bro, where people are dying out of food like that? Look, listen, if you believe in the Bible, then you should be understanding why I'm asking these questions. If you don't, then get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm not here to argue with a fucking atheist or basically that. If you're a Kabbalist and all that fucking Freemasonry, man, I'd love to talk to you so I can fucking debunk your shit. Because guess what? Y'all created this shit.
Why their insulin tripled in price, and why dentist visit now requires a small bank loan. We're going to roll these clips, let them speak for themselves, and then we'll talk about why this was the most predictable train wreck in modern politics.
I voted for Trump and I'm sorry. I am uneducated. I grew up in public school system. I believed anything a teacher.
Okay, so then at that moment, now you know she's stupid. She's like, I'm uneducated. I grew up in the public system. I believed everything the teachers told me. Yeah, we all went through that. And I'm a lot older than you. That's nothing fucking new. Let me see what you got to say. Everything is in the beginning, absolutely everything. Abba put his mark on Cain so he would not be killed. The mark was below his forehead. It wasn't on the forehead. It was the color of his eyes. Google the most rarest color of eyes. Blue, I guess. I don't know. Well, let's continue, man, because anyways, let's just continue.
It was the most predictable train wreck in modern politics.
Voted for Trump, and I'm sorry. I am uneducated. I grew up in public school system. I believed anything a teacher and a principal told me, and I didn't question it, and I walked in a straight line, and I didn't use critical thinking skills, okay?
Hey, what the fuck does that even mean? What do you mean? Like, nobody teaches you critical skills. You fucking have to have them naturally, dumbass.
I didn't read Project 2025. I have a disabled child. I'm a single mom of 3. I believed what he said in his campaigns, and I fucked up, and I'm sorry, okay? Now, we're wanting accountability across the board. It starts with the people.
Basically, she's saying, forgive me if I'm really fucking stupid. She's wanting to say it in a very smart way. She's like, forgive me if I'm very fucking stupid. I got like a deformed mind. I mean, look at the kids I have and the mom I have. That's basically what she said. Look, just listen. I'm not lying. Like, check it out. I'm not lying.
Now the same folks who laughed at warning signs are out here wondering.
My bad. I went too far back.
About why.
No, shut up.
Thinking skills, okay? I didn't read Project 2025. I have a disabled child. I'm a single mom of 3. I believed what he said in his campaigns, and I fucked up, and I'm sorry, okay? Now, we're wanting accountability across the board.
That she came out of a single mom that just had no brains.
Single mom of...
She said, my mom was stupid. Just listen.
And
hey, but this is Edom, by the way. That's why I'm fucking pointing it out. Edom, this is your fucking seed. Yeah, you can't lie to me no more, bro. I found your dirty dumbass. let me see where your generation is gonna end up being at.
And a principal told me, and I didn't question it, and I walked in a straight line, and I didn't use critical thinking skills, okay? I didn't read Project 2025. I have a disabled child. I'm a single mom of 3.
You see, so, you hear that shit from the beginning to the end.
I believed what he said in his campaigns, and I fucked up. I'm sorry, okay?
It ain't my fault. I'm just fucking stupid.
Now, we're wanting accountability across the board. It starts with the people like me that made a mistake. I'm admitting it. The first step to progressing in anything is admitting.
I know something. I don't even know if this is real. This sounds like a breakup. It's like, listen, I'm sorry I fucking cheated on you. I'm you know what I mean? Like, I have to really reassess myself and what the fuck I just did. I'm so sorry. Think about it. Think back. Come on, man. We're up into this shit.
And I'm sorry, okay? Now, we're wanting accountability across the board.
Listen, Edom, you are so fucking easy to digest now. You're so easy to digest. Edom, Esau, the white man. I know you. Benny. Come on, bro. Matt, what's up, Kirk? Damn. This is your people right here. From beginning to end.
Board. It starts with the people like me that made a mistake. I'm admitting it. The first step to progressing in anything is admitting that there is a problem. There was a problem in my judgment. I did not do my due diligence in my research, and I voted in a system that I had not enough awareness and knowledge of until shit started hitting the fan. So if you come for me in the comments and you start all of this hatred, because what we have right now are the people that voted for Trump and that are hiding and that they don't agree, like me, like I was until I'm making this video right now. And then we have the people that didn't vote, and then we have the people that voted for someone else, okay? And then most of all, what we have are citizens of the United States, we the people, complaining that this administration needs to take accountability. We start by leading by example.
Hold on, what did you just say about Trump?
I said, Trump's a fucking liar. Inflation's going up. Gas prices hasn't really come down that much. Eggs, that's the funny one. The eggs. I'm mad, and I'm a mega man. Okay? I don't see anything he's done.
So is it safe to say that the illusion has faded?
I think it has, yes. You know, I was for him because, you know, everything he said, you know, he played right into my hands. He just told us everything we wanted to hear. That's what he did. I can't even stand to look at him because, you know, he's a con. He's a flat ass, nothing but a fucking con. You know, they all, the right side, they say, oh yeah, the Biden side was so bad. Well, what's so good about the right side? He brags about doing something with our economy, but I haven't seen anything happen yet. That big beautiful bill is going to add, they say $2.5 trillion. It's going to add about $4 trillion to the debt. The big beautiful bill. Oh, what a joke. Remember what happened in the 80s with trickle-down economics? Yeah, the filthy rich got richer and us guys that worked for a living paid more taxes.
Your kids will never be able to go to college, but at least the billionaires get tax cuts.
Let's go!
Billionaires! Billionaires!
You know what shocks me the most about Trump supporters, or MAGA in general? The fact that they actually think Trump lied to them. Like,
No, actually, no. The real MAGA supporters, they wanted this. This is how they felt. I'm only going to play about 2 minutes of it, and that's it. Because she really breaks it fucking down.
I've been dying to dig into this. I've been asking myself for years why Trump's followers can't see reality. So I did my research, and I'm going to share it with you. Let's talk about the psychology behind the Trump cult. Because that's what it is. It's not a normal political movement anymore. It's a cult of personality. And if we want to fight it, we have to understand it. So let's break it down. First, Trump doesn't offer policies. He offers identity. He's not popular because of what he does, but because of what he represents. To many of his followers, he's the walking, talking middle finger to a system they believe has failed them. They see him as their guy, not because he's honest, not because he helps them, but because he talks like them, rages like them, and punches the people they've been told to blame for everything. In psychology, there's a term for this: identity fusion. It's when your personal identity becomes fused with your group or leader. That's why criticism of Trump feels like a personal attack to his supporters. It's not just he's being criticized, it's I'm being criticized. Second, he offers revenge, not solutions. He doesn't promise to fix healthcare or raise wages or protect your rights. He promises to go after them. Whether it's immigrants, the press, black activists, LGBTQ people, liberals, college students, elites, anyone outside the tribe. That's classic authoritarianism. Give people a sense of law. Tell them who stole it, then promise to make them pay. And to some people, that rage, that promise of vengeance is more emotionally satisfying than actual policy. It doesn't fix their problems, but it feels like power. Third, people crave order, and Trump promises strength. When institutions fail, when you don't trust the media, the courts, elections, schools, you start to look for a savior.
Not Asians. We are indigenous to all of the.
I want to hear this out and then we out. All right, family, I want to hear this. I stopped that at this point before, but I want to hear the whole thing. I think it's important to listen to our gente. Stop hating.
Americas. North, Central, South, the Caribbean, and even Greenland. We are not recent arrivals.
We have been here since the immemorial dawn of time, since before borders, before names, before maps.
Native Americans are one of the most geographically widespread human lineages on the planet.
You will find us in the deserts of Sonora and Atacama.
You will find us in the Arctic tundras of Alaska and Nunavut.
You will find us in the rainforests of the Amazon,
pine forests of the Rockies, the valleys of Oaxaca, the plains of Argentina, and the islands of the Caribbean.
Our diversity of environments is matched by the resilience of our DNA.
Native Americans share ancient genetic markers, such as mtDNA haplogroups A, B, C, D, and X.
And Y DNA haplogroups Q and C passed down unbroken for tens of thousands of years.
Markers are rooted in Ice Age populations who migrated across vast distances and adapted to wildly different terrains. They formed nations. They prayed, they fought, they dreamed, they died, and they were born again in us.
They didn't just arrive and vanish. They stayed. They built civilization.
On the contrary, it confirms our humanity, because all humans migrated. Saying we are from Siberia, or even from older human populations that once crossed the Beringia land bridge, does not efface our indigeneity.
All humans came from somewhere.
But it is time and place-rooted history and relationship to the land that defines indigenous identity.
If you argue that Native Americans aren't truly native because ancient ancestors crossed from Siberia, then by that same logic, Europeans aren't native to Europe either.
Then the Aboriginal Australians, who arrived over 50,000 years ago through Southeast Asia, are no longer indigenous.
The so-called European race is a complex fusion of Asian, Middle Eastern, and Eurasian components. So are they immigrants too?
Should the Chinese, with ancient migrations through the Yellow River Basin, also return to Central Asia?
Every living human being, regardless of the color of their skin or the shape of their skull, descends from ancestors who walked out of Africa. The Khoisan people, among the most genetically ancient on Earth, did not originate across the entire continent. They emerged from a small southern corner of it.
Yet no serious scholar today would argue they're not indigenous to Africa just because their roots began in one part and spread to others.
Migration is not the opposite of indigeneity. It is the essence of human life. People often throw the word indigenous around like it's a fixed marker in time, as if humans sprang from the soil of the lands they inhabit.
Everyone comes from somewhere, they migrated, they evolved from earlier species. But that is the truth of human history, my history, our history.
Every people on this planet comes from migratory ancestors. Even Homo sapiens evolved from earlier humans.
Homo erectus, Homo habilis, who roamed across the African savannas and beyond.
Our ancient cousins Neanderthals, Denisovans, and Homo erectus left Africa long before we did, some over 1 million years ago.
They entered Europe, Asia, and beyond, establishing populations that predated modern humans.
But they are not us. And crucially, none of them ever entered the Americas.
There is no fossil evidence, no genetic residue, to suggest that any pre-sapiens hominid ever made it to America.
Before them, apes migrated. Before them, even the earliest mammals moved from place to place in search of survival. Migration is not the enemy of identity. It is the foundation of it. What separates Native Americans is this: we did not just pass through the Americas. We became of the Americas. Our presence here stretches back 15,000 to possibly 30,000 years, according to archaeological evidence.
Even Lucia, Kennewick Man, Naya, Spirit Cave Man, all the oldest human remains in the Americas have shown to be Native American in genetics.
In contrast, the first modern humans entered the Americas over 25,000 years ago, likely through coastal or interior routes from Siberia.
And from that moment onward, they became the ancestors of every indigenous people of North, Central, and South America. Genetically, Native Americans carry haplogroups like Q and C in paternal lines, and A, B, C, D, and X in maternal lines.
These are not found in modern Europeans, black people.
Every ancient genome we've recovered, Kennewick Man from Washington, Naya from Mexico's Yucatan, Lucia from Brazil,
has confirmed this shared ancestry. The science is clear. They were Native American. Period. That's a connection of over 15,000 years of genetic history no one else has on this continent, not Europeans, Africans, or modern Asians. We are indigenous not because we never came from anywhere, but because we were first and never left.
I'm aware of the pseudo-historical theories, like the Solutrean hypothesis that claims Ice Age Europeans reached the Americas first.
The Afrocentric myths that black people were here before Native Americans. These narratives crumble.
Hey, bro, do me a favor, man. Why don't you come up, man, real quick? Let's talk about this real quick. I'd love to get your perspective on what you're saying, bro. Because I think you're right. Demons are pissed off at us. The following ones are angry because we have more power, just as little above the angels, and they hate that yet. Yeah, so that's very true. Come on real quick, because I'm about to finish, man.
Under scrutiny.
No Solutrean genetic markers have ever been found in ancient American remains.
No Black American or African haplogroups predating European slavery have been recovered from any Paleo-American skeleton.
Lucia, once misrepresented as African due to facial features, was genetically indigenous American, just like me. Her bones may have told one story to 19th century eyes, but her DNA told the truth. Which brings me to those 19th century eyes, anthropologists like Samuel George Morton, James Pritchard, and George Catlin,
who looked at the varied faces of Native Americans and saw only through the lens of racial pseudoscience.
The indigenous peoples of the Americas are phenotypically diverse, because humanity is diverse.
They mistook diversity for racial mixing, or worse, for misclassification.
But modern genetics has erased their doubts and their false equivalencies. It has shown that despite vast variation in skin tone,
facial structure, and morphology, all Native Americans descend from a common ancestral population.
That unity is written into our blood, even if our faces are written in many styles.
So if you are a Yupik in Alaska,
Or an Inuit across the Arctic, in Greenland, Canada, and Alaska.
or a Blackfoot Indian in Montana,
even a Chavante Indian in the Amazon,
a Navajo in Arizona or New Mexico,
or any indigenous tribe or nation across the Americas, we are all indigenous and descend from the same branch of humanity. Native Americans are not
We're all the shit and we're the bomb, bro. That's what it is. That's what it is, my friends. All right, man. I'm gonna call it a day. I guess you didn't want to show up, man. It's all good. I don't expect people to do that all the time. Let me play some music and then we out, bro. Listen, what I did today, showing you guys who the fuck Edom is, you should be very mindful what we just did. Do you understand that? I didn't do it alone. I did it with y'all. We did it together. We went through this class together. I didn't teach the class. Like, we went through the class together. Pay attention.
Miras a otro lado, los fantasmas del pasado no se detendrán hasta verte derrumbado. Peores lo hemos pasado. Andaba a golpes con la tristeza, me aportó riqueza, me otorgó sabiduría, pues se dibujaba en todas mis piezas. Yo con alegría le daba color después. La aguja sigue girando, tiempo parece se burlar de mí. Dijo que sanaría esperando, pero creo que la espina aún sigue ahí. Con los dedos lo voy palpando. Cierro los puños, escapa de aquí. Agonizando, no me espera el tiempo, no voy a esperar por ti. Nuestras huellas en la orilla se han borrado por la marea. Si esas estrellas ya no brillan, las entiendo pa' que vean. Sea donde sea, bajo la tormenta o dentro de la odisea, donde arañas cubren el cielo de tela, los aviones nadan y los barcos vuelan. Hey, aunque parezca que va bien, no sabes bien si va mal. Besos que pueden doler, ojos que pueden matar. Tengo mi alma en el almacén encerrada, mi corazón está en huelga, mis sentimientos en ámbar. Gente, Calamala dijo que estaría presente. Fallaron como nunca, se fueron para siempre. Millones razones para vengarme, pero a veces duele más actuar indiferente. Como no quieren ver ahogados, tenemos branquias y cerrados los bronquios como la mente de un guardia. Yo soy la montaña y vine con la cordillera. Más cojones que tu ganga tiene una madre soltera. Tú cúbrete si suena mi tu. A mi lado tengo soldados fumando de su palulú. Ni un conjuro de grimorio me lo salva del velorio. Pa' tener pila valorio se matan vestidos de emporio. Y yo no quiero una pistola, estoy soñando que la vida que quería me llega a tiempo. Desde que yo la vi sola, loco ando. Vino a verme cuando el sol se estaba poniendo y se dejó una pluma y se perdió en la bruma. Nunca se despidió de mí, ey. Nunca se despidió de mí, ey. Vivo en un mundo que parece roto y sé que no, porque todo es perfecto y lo debo plasmar. Me fumo un troco lo tras otro y lo veo todo otro color. Me gorda y por dentro la llama, no puedo contener la ras. Churruscao el corazón, el armazón no puede llegar a pesarme más. Si abro la boca, tu tumba al suelo, me muelo a diario y sobrado de gas. Escupo ristas perfectas, paladas de versos eternos, no mueren jamás. Cuando acabe mi condena, me vi muy solo y perdido. Cada vez más negra la flema, más elegante el problema, pero planté cara a todos mis enemigos. Recuperé las ganas, las fuerzas y el garbo. Dedico requiems a mis diablos, que aquí estoy vivo de milagro. Delicadas flores crecieron entre los cardos. Me dicen vienes más delgado que de costumbre. Será de tanto que he bailado en el alambre, que a tanta pena es mejor no ponerle nombre. Llevamos la música en vena, nuestra sangre.
Yeah, man. Oh, respect and love from the world, nigga. Show them. You nigga on a microphone. Can't I sit in and buy for everything? Rock you in the studio. Bomba, claro.
¿De qué manera sufre el alma cuando alguien se va? No hay medicina que cure esa larga enfermedad. La vitamina de la vida en esta sociedad es tan divina que por nombre tiene libertad. Libérate de la mentira que está por llegar. Mide tu orgullo antes de empezar a hablar. Cierra la puerta a quien no merezca entrar, porque hay mucho que se fue y sueña con regresar. Hablemos en silencio y así no me mentirás. El poder de la palabra muere cuando hablan de más. No me fío de oraciones que se dicen por detrás. Si me miras a los ojos no te mentiré jamás. Que besar por besar es jugar por jugar. Y vivir sin amor es vivir sin amar. Solo queda la fe, solo queda soñar. Ponte de pie, ready para luchar. Some love, I can just smoke and there are some love them.
I can just smoke and the light some blow.
I remember no fire, no burn. Ribby day.
Cali with a farmer soul, yeah.
¿De cuánto tiempo hablamos cuando hablamos de querer? Si la mitad lo malgastamos solo en comprender. ¿De qué manera es más fácil aprender? Que nacemos para ganar y morimos al perder. No puedo dejar de animarte, que cuando te caigas debes levantarte. Llegué para contarte que no todo artista muere por su arte. Traigo el honor de un humano con valor que utiliza poesía para respirar mejor. Escribo prosa para vengar al amor y recuerda aquella rosa que tiraron al contenedor.
¿Dónde se quedó el amor? Hey, I no voy a sit on no microphone forever, never. Tell me,
roll some love, I can just smoke and the light, some love them. I Rastafari my life, some love. I remember no fire, no burn, ribby day.
Cali with a farmer soul, yeah. Reggae man a farmer warrior day. Not a really thing. Oh, yeah, man. Y se piensa que la música es un juego, lo lleva claro, hermano. Desde España, internacional, bomba, clack, you, Lego. Not really easy. No. Pure nigga on a microphone. Hey, tell us what. Tell us anything. Tell if I'm a Rasta feeling on my sin. Hey, more love.
Vivimos huyendo de la envidia como los niños en Siria de la bomba que le manda el Pentágono. Y todo el día, mamá mía, keeping it mood, that's so real. Love was man, I never fear, never, no, no. La travesía de la vida más que misericordiosa y nuestra prosa siempre para allá favor, no. Tú podrás por mí traicionar a tu familia, matar tu brazo, sangre, si vos sabías, pero yo no. Familia, familia, es el que está a la mínimo. Familia, familia, comparte almas cristalinas. Familia, familia, Rasta Giant familia. Familia, familia, Magna White son familia, ya no maniga.
خواتي شو من حالي وشو من حالي هلي بالك ربي كبير وربي عالي واللي جاي يديني اليوم وباغي سالي ربي يغفر لي ولا دراري خواتي شو من حالي وشو من حالي هلي بالك ربي كبير وربي عالي واللي جاي يديني اليوم وباغي سالي ربي يغفر لي ولا دراري Tuve un sueño donde no había amor, se perdía el color de una flor, se marchaba lentamente con el sol en el horizonte. Pude hacer algo para calmar en mi dolor, y es por eso que le pongo flow, viviendo alto siempre. Burruco bimba, y es que todo por la familia. Burruco bimba, y es por eso vengo a bendecir. Burruco bimba, y es que todo por la familia. Burruco bimba, y es por eso vengo a bendecir.
Familia, familia, es el que está a la mínimo. Familia, familia, comparte almas cristalinas. Familia, familia, Rasta Giant familia. Familia, familia, Magna White son familia, ya no maniga.
Magna super slalom, subiendo a nuevo escalón. Metallic in the salon, esquivo like si de Stallone. Esos teis van del palo, pero bitch no rascan balón. Aunque me enrollo nada cáñamo, nunca me paro. Aunque van tras de mí, no se pueden medir. Buscan el elixir, está metalizado. Y es que yo soy así, no van a descubrir sexy flow y skill con este descaro. Si familia necesita de ti, fíjalo. Burruco Connection, Antarctic Field, dígalo. A mí nadie area de París, día yo. Los magnates han llegado, están aquí, píalo. Para soportar el dolor como no imaginas, es la vida en ámbar. No creas que no puedes tú solo con la movida. Yo llevaré tus bambas. Familia, familia, fighting the hate and the media. Familia, familia, it's original, man. Familia, familia, fighting the hate and the media. Familia, familia, yo soy un rocket, ellos abrilia. Con los míos siempre se lo baila. Menea, melena, remueve la vaina. Aunque agarre fuerte el frito pa' que no se caiga. Son los magna de Boss Final. Con los míos siempre se lo baila. Menea, melena, remueve la vaina. Aunque agarre fuerte el frito pa' que no se caiga. Son los magna de Boss Final. Disparo a millas sin mirar y sin mirar sin asimilar que es la puta herida de tu vida hurgo. Los manates la chatarrilla hacen pa' pillar piltrafillas, tres donos nos pilla y se va la furgo. Hará falta una pedicura y una cura si se apura. Quizás llega la locura de mi turbo. Dale vueltas a las partículas, deja ya la mandíbula quieta que sola llega a Luxemburgo.
Niño, prepara la compota que la pera pata.
Pero vinimos a mejorarla.
Pa' hablar por mi familia y tengo autoridad.
Saben que no puedo cagarla.
Y poner ritmo y los manos de todas cuatro patas. ¿Quieres esa vaina? Va a probarla. Todo aquel en el party tan desagata. Guata que el guatan alma. Vivimos huyendo de la envidia como los niños en Siria de la bomba que le manda el Pentágono. Y todo el día, mamá mía, keeping it mood, that's so real. Love was man, I never fear, never, no, no. La travesía de la vida más que misericordiosa y nuestra prosa siempre para allá favor, no. Tú podrás por mí traicionar a tu familia, matar tu brazo, sangre, si vos sabías, pero yo no. Familia, familia, es el que está a la mínimo. Familia, familia, comparte almas cristalinas. Familia, familia, Rasta Giant familia. Familia, familia, Magna White son familia, ya no maniga.
Bombo cry, sing it, sing it, sing it, sing it, cross the line on them. Warfare, vengo con los míos, Magna Gate, while I fire them. Bombo cry, sing it, sing it, sing it, sing it, cross the line on them. Warfare, vengo con los manas y saqué, while I fire them. I gotta stop, shut up on the microphone ballad, and the smoke the marijuana, psycho Buddha bombo clap, bang bang in the street, fire fire burn it, fill it with. Rasta man, I want Illuminati play the kill. Stop, shut up on the microphone, ballad. And the smoke the marijuana, psycho Buddha, mumbo clan. Bang, bang in the street, fire burn it, fill it with. Key Cray is a king, Magnus thing. Nobody, no kill them. In a crazy style. Chale, no fire them. It's a Rasta ganja. Nobody, no kill them. It's a crispy style. Tally, the fire cream. It's a Rasta ganja. Familia, Rasta chai is familiar. Key Cray is familiar. Pure nego is familiar. Sico, Key Magneto, familia. Es el que está a la mínima. Familia. Compactar más cristalinas. Familia. Rasta y Zion, familia. Magna boy que doblaste, manego.
So check this out, family. I want to share this with you, man. This is pretty fucking nuts, and then I'll call it a night for real. Like, I know I was saying that shit, but like, you got to hear this. I bought, my wife and I went to Costco about 4 days ago, and, we were shopping and shit. I grabbed a couple of things that I typically do, and then every once in a while, I want to get some ribs. Now, I've gotten some beef ribs before. So I'm very familiar with them. But for some reason, this time, in the beef, section, there was a fucking pork offering. It was in between that shit. So see me, I mean, I didn't know because it was in the beef. Like when you go to Costco, you have the fucking pork. And then you have the beef. So I was like, okay, we're good. We had it for like a couple days. Okay, so today, before I started the live, I started trying to cook the meat, okay? So typically, you get it at around 3:40, 3:30, and then you put it in, and, you check it every 15 minutes, you know what I'm saying? And it should be fine. Meat, beef. I'm not talking about pork or nothing else. I'm talking about beef. Because you guys understand that pork is fatter than beef. So beef takes longer to cook because it's not a lot of fat. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of cooking to go through. Well, what's happening? Shit, man. My wife comes over like, hey, what is this? And I go, like, this is, wait, hold on. What is this? I find out, bro, that we were cooking some pork. But all praises to the Most High that nobody ate it. See, the point I was bringing up was, like that's not like a problem in my family, you know what I'm saying? Like we have not been eating pork or shrimp or none of that stuff for like 8-9 years now. But for that shit to almost trap us into accidentally eating that fucking meat, I'm like, what the fuck's going on, bro? You know what I'm saying? You guys got to be mindful at every single moment. But seriously, man, that's for me, man. It's a big deal because, I mean, I'm look what I show on this channel. Like I'm talking about, keeping the commandments as best as you can, and why would you want to eat pork? Like if you really think about it, even if there was no commandments and you just had to understand the logic of eating pork, like that's nasty, bro. They're like humans and shit. Unless you want to eat humans. I don't want to eat humans. Fuck the bullshit on that. Anyways, y'all have a good night.
Cal. Hijo, abre los ojos. Cuerpo se queda con nosotros, pero tu espíritu debe seguir. Busca la luz. Aléjate de la sombra. Deja que nuestro dolor sea tu fuerza. Desde aquí iluminamos tu camino. Lucha como nosotros antes pena grande. Yo soy tú eres yo. La muerte que hoy nos separa. Mañana volverá a unirnos. Eres libre, hijo.